All right, we are live, and it is basically right at first pitch time. Here, Tanner Bybee taking the mound for the Cleveland Guardians. Gunnar Henderson looks to be leadoff for the Orioles now. Bybee, 4 starts, 0-2 record, 6.38 ERA. I believe, I don't know if it was last start or 2 starts ago. It might have been his last start against, I think it was Atlanta. He got absolutely shelled. It was not good. Let me make sure we are in business as per usual. All right, let's see. There we go. Yep, there we go. All right. We are in business. Let me start getting my Windows set up from stats and stuff. Don't have the box score up just yet. Well, let me actually refresh and see that. Nope. We're, I guess, not quite at first pitch yet. I mean, it's basically almost there, but pull up fan graphs for the rosters. And I guess it's Tanner Bybee is throwing up his warm-up pitches. That's what's happening at the moment. There we go. So Orioles coming off of nearly getting no hit through 8 innings last night by Parker Messick of the Cleveland Guardians. Got a hit in the 9th and actually scored 2 runs in the 9th. Nearly tied it, like really close to tying it. Where the Orioles back in last night in the 9th inning. Though it didn't, they fell 4-2. Gunnar Henderson on the first pitch lines it out over into shallow left field. That is caught on a line by not Stephen Kwan, actually. That is not. Stephen Kwan might be in left field. There we go. All right. Left fielder is Angel Martinez. That's who made the catch. Got a weird jump. Like, it was going hard line towards him, and he was very indecisive on how he wanted to approach that. Wound up getting out there on first pitch. Taylor Ward takes strike 1 on a fastball sinker, actually, down in the zone there. So Ward was the leadoff man for the first 2 weeks, essentially, of the Orioles season. Now Gunnar Henderson's kind of taken over there. Ward takes strike 2 on a cutter that drops in. But Ward had, I think, a 15-game on-base streak snapped 2 days ago at this point. So he's got to build up another one here. Still does not have a home run yet. Down 0-2 at the moment. He will look at a cutter that drops way outside for ball 1. But Ward was, at one point, the league leader in doubles. I think he had like 9 at one point. Not sure if he's still the league leader, but Ward was really good at getting on base. Now, past couple of games, I mean, the offense as a whole has dipped a little bit for the Orioles. So we'll see what happens here. Ward will pop this one high into the air into left center field. That will be Stephen Kwan in center field making the catch there. So well under that pitch was Taylor Ward. 2 down in the inning for the Orioles, who had obviously struggled mightily last night against Cleveland starting pitching. Hopefully that does not go the way today. Would not like that. So Pete Alonso working against Tanner Bybee. Alonso off to a pretty slow start at the moment. Looks at a sweeper way outside for ball 1. Alonso does have 2 home runs. Not should have, but almost. Like, it was really close last night to having a game-tying home run in the 9th inning. It was like a little bit left. It would have been a homer. Looks at strike 1 on a fastball, bottom left corner of the zone. That's not the... I want to stay there. I want to go here. There we go. But yes, Alonso was so close. Wound up being our RBI double. Looks at fastball low there. Doubled off the wall, essentially. All right. Pulling up Pulling off baseball spot. I don't need it as much because Masson does actually show me what type of pitch they're throwing. Alonso will ground this sinker foul. But I'll pull up the Savant anyway. Especially for someone like Chris Bassett who has a lot of pitches. I think Taron Revivi as well also has a lot of pitches. So throws a fastball mix. Throwing a four-seamer, throwing a sinker as well, and a cutter. So that's 3 different types of fastballs, essentially. It's really the two-seamers, I think, the only other one that's like majorly different. 2-2 to Alonso is high on a curveball. 3-2 here. But I think between the four-seam, two-seam, cutter, and sinker, those are like the 4 main types of fastball pitches. Then you get like change-ups, which is like an off-speed pitch, and then you get to like curveballs, sweepers, sliders for those type of pitches there. Alonso will knock this one over into left field. There's a base hit for Pete. Fielded by Angel Martinez, but not in the air. That is a single for Pete Alonso to make sure this is not going to be a no-hitter through 8 innings this time around compared to last night. So Alonso looks like that might have been either a sinker or a cutter, I think. High in the zone. Alonso just rockets that one out over into left field. Brings up Dylan Beavers, who I feel like hasn't played a ton in the past couple of games. Hitting .233 on the season, but he's also eligible for Rookie of the Year. Debuted in September of last year and takes a fastball outside for ball 1. Debuted about a week before Samuel Basayo, so both these guys are very young and still very new to the majors. Beavers bats lefty, Tanner Bybee the righty pitcher. Beavers will swing through a changeup there for strike 1. Changeup breaks right into the middle of the zone, but after a lot of fastballs so far from Bybee, the changeup, which is, literally in the name, designed to change up the speed compared. It's like, I think it's supposed to look like a fastball coming out of the hand, but it is like considerably slower. There's a fastball there. That is another changeup, actually. Never mind. Looked like a fastball, and it fooled me. There we go. It's a changeup, but it's low for ball 2. It looked like it was moving straight, but I guess it did have a little bit of bend to it. So 2-1 to Dylan Beavers. 2 outs, runner on first here in the top of the first. Beavers will look at ball 2 on a curveball. See if I refresh the box score. All right. Because as always, Xfinity is well behind on its TV broadcasts. That's what I'm using to watch these games on TV that I obviously cannot broadcast on my stream because that is illegal. I can broadcast the box score. That's perfectly fine. But the box score is well ahead because it's using ESPN compared to Xfinity's delayed stream. Beavers on the 3-1 will foul this fastball back. So hence why I'm not using the Gamecast. Obviously, I would prefer to use the Gamecast because it is easier visually to look at, but Xfinity does not like to cooperate. So full count here for Beavers. Already 16 pitches for Bybee in the first inning. Beavers will pop this one foul on a changeup at the bottom of the zone. So we will go again. It's definitely one thing the Orioles did not do well was working counts last night. Their hitting approach and their offense has been kind of all right so far. It feels like it should be better, but I mean, they're still 9-10 at this point, or maybe, 9-10. It's not horrible. Just you would like it to be a little better. So 3-2 again to Beavers. He'll ground this one a foul on a fastball at the bottom of the zone. So after pretty quick first 2 batters that went down in Henderson and Ward, 3 and 4 hitters and Alonso and Beavers have driven up the pitch count a good bit here in the first inning, which is certainly a good sign given that the Cleveland bullpen is pretty well rested at the moment. 3-2 again to Beavers is down and low with a changeup taken for ball 4. So that is 2 straight 2-out base runners. The Orioles have been good so far this year at hitting and really just batting as a whole with 2 outs. Not so much with no outs. It's very weird. They're not very good when there's nobody on the leadoff spot, essentially. They're like first man up in the inning, but 2 outs, they're actually pretty solid. That brings up Samuel Basayo, also lefty, also rookie. Catcher for the Orioles will swing through a cutter there for strike 1. Cutter was inside. but Basayo goes after it anyway. He will take his time here. Basayo's definitely... He's off to a bit of a slow start. Major power in his bat. The average, though, is very low, hitting 157 so far. Definitely, he's gotten frustrated with himself so far. He will knock this one high in the air. Will that stay in play? No, it will not, just barely. Rattles over there in the Cleveland dugout over on the third base side. So just a foul ball, though it does bring the count to 0-2. Basayo has struck out a good bit so far on the season. As they're showing replays, Basayo's snapped a couple bats in frustration so far. He's a big dude also. He's probably, I want to say he's like 6'5" or 6'6". He is very tall. And that's part of the reason why he has a ton of power in his bat. It's the squaring it around so far. It's gotten a couple, but would like to get a bit more. He's in a pitcher's count here, and he will swing through a changeup there for strike 3. So Basayo goes down on 3 pitches. Strands 2 here in the first. So Orioles, silver lining, Orioles do work the pitch count there against Tanner Bybee in the first, but they leave with no runs and just 1 hit, as Chris Bassitt will take the mound for the Orioles. Pretty sure he throws like 9 pitches. I think Baseball Savant only lists 5. Or no, it lists 6 at the moment, but I'm pretty sure there's more. Maybe it's just that he hasn't thrown it this season. But he has the arsenal. Long-time journeyman. Played in 12 seasons, I believe. Drafted in 2011 by the Chicago White Sox in round 16, pick number 501 in the 2011 Major League Baseball draft. 37 years old, Chris Bassitt, kind of an innings eater type of guy. The 4 in the rotation at the moment, behind Trevor Rogers, Kyle Bradish, and Shane Baz. And first 2 starts for Bassitt were not good. I think he was very open about him not pitching great in his first 2 starts. His third start was a lot better. I think he might have thrown 4 at this point. Let me actually check. Bassitt, has he thrown 4? Or is this his 4th? This might be his 4th at the moment. Let's see. If I go, where should I go to find that? Might go to ESPN. That might be better. Chris Bassitt, how many starts have you thrown? This season specifically, because I do not remember off the top of my head. 3 starts, as I'm looking at the Masson graphic right now. 0-2 in those starts, 9 flat ERA. Anyway, Bassitt throws strike 1 on sinker there to Stephen Kwan. Stats, there we go. But the Orioles kind of took a long way around with their rotation as Bassitt throws ball 1 on a curveball inside. Game log, there we go. That's probably better. Yeah, so this is Bassitt's 4th start of the season. 1-1 to Kwan is grounded foul on a sinker. So the broadcast guys, Kevin and Ben, are calling it a 2-seamer. Statcast has it as a sinker. It's a fastball with a little bit of run in it, essentially. That is his primary pitch for the looks of it. Or is it again to Kwan? That time they're calling it a cutter. That was high in the zone, though. Kwan gets a piece of it, so he stays alive at 1-2. It's some kind of fastball with a little bit of movement, essentially. But it's been all that and a curveball so far. Curveball, the only ball Bassitt has thrown to Stephen Kwan. Very pesky hitter, Stephen Kwan. Leadoff man for Cleveland. We'll look at ball 2 on a curveball outside this time. That curveball, pretty obvious to tell there. Very slow, very loopy. But Bassitt struggled a lot in his first 2 starts against Texas and Pittsburgh. Pitched much better against San Francisco as Kwan will scoop this curveball foul. So already a 6-pitch, going to be 7-pitch at bat from Kwon against Bassett here to start the game for Cleveland. But the Orioles, did Bassett throw? Was he the one who I streamed last week against the Giants? I don't remember. I think it was Shane Baz, but it might have been Bassett. Anyway, Kwon will knock this curveball up into center field. That will be fielded in the air by Leody Taveras. That is, the Orioles center fielder. So Kwon gets a curveball, gets a little bit, not much power under it, and loops it over into center for the first out. So Taylor Ward, Leody Taveras, Colton Cowser, the outfield, Kobe Mayo, Gunnar Henderson, Jeremiah Jackson, Pete Alonso infield, Chris Bassett pitching, and Samuel Basayo behind home plate. Probably with the injuries right now, this is a pretty expected, outside of Blaze Alexander, really expected starting lineup as Bassett throws ball 1 to Chase DeLauder. The rookie, well, I think one of the few rookies that Cleveland has in their lineup, or at least in their roster at the moment. But DeLauder off to a very hot start. 246 average, 5 home runs, 12 RBIs so far in about, 3.5 weeks of the season so far? DeLauder will look at ball 2 on a sinker outside, basically the same exact spot there. George Valera also, listed as a DH, also a rookie, and Juan Brito, their second baseman, also a rookie there. Valera did, I think, debut last year at some point. Like late September, probably, from the looks of it. DeLauder actually debuted in the playoffs last year. I know that. Don't know if Brito did. DeLauder takes ball 3 after fouling off the previous pitch, so he's in a 3-1 count at the moment. So a very young Cleveland team. Well, mix of young and old. You got, Jose Ramirez. Steven Kwan's also been around a good bit. Ball forward to DeLauder, and nowhere close on a sinker that is way outside. So first walk of the game for Cleveland. A lot of those sinking, two-seam, whatever you want to call them, fastballs running outside. And that brings up the very dangerous hitter, Jose Ramirez, who knocked a 2-run homer in the first inning last night. Ramirez, who's been on the team since he was drafted in 2000, or signed in 2009 as an amateur free agent, not drafted, but signed back in 2009. This should be his 12th season overall in the majors for Jose Ramirez. Surefire Hall of Famer at this point. There's a changeup that misses way high, so it's 2-0 now to Ramirez, and Bassett has lost all command over the past couple pitches. He's taking a breather here. So Bassett struggling a little bit here to get the ball in the strike zone. There's a strike right there. Nice sinker. Ramirez swings right through it for strike 1. So the quick breather does good work there on the pitch for Bassett. Gets him right back into the count. So Ramirez hitting just 224 so far to start the season, but he's always an incredibly dangerous hitter. Never want to mess with him. There is a changeup that is high and away. So 3-1 here for Ramirez. On most of the pitches just have not been competitive at all. And going up righty pitcher, lefty hitter here, and a lot of these pitches are just running away from the lefty. There's a ball high. Does Ramirez go? No, he does not. Fastball high, so that is second straight walk from Bassett to Guardians hitters. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Nothing. Runners on first and second now. Now we'll bring up Kyle Manzardo. I believe his first name is Kyle. Yes. Was a former Tampa Bay Ray, was a trade piece to the Guardians back in 2023. There's a curveball that drops in for strike 1. The DH tonight for the Guardians, hitting 189 so far, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, though does have a runner in scoring position here at the moment. Double play is in effect at the moment as well. There's curveball low. Manzardo does not swing at it, so it is 1-1. So it's a bit of early trouble for Bassett coming up on his 20th pitch. So both starting pitchers actually so far have had long pitch or high pitch count first innings at the moment. Hopefully Bassett can get out of it soon. There's a cutter that's yanked inside for ball 2. The fastballs have not found the zone all that consistently for Bassett this first inning. Guardians have not swung at too many pitches either. One big contact was from Stephen Kwan when he lined out to center. There's a fastball that's in the zone for strike 1, sinker at the top. Or strike 2, actually. My apologies. Manzardo swings straight through it. So there have been a couple swings and misses here, courtesy of Basket. The reason why I said that is because Rhys Hoskins is on deck, so I'm thinking the SK instead of just the Bassett. Anyway, 2-2 to Manzardo. DeLauder and Ramirez on the bases. There is a pitch just high for ball 3 on a fastball, four-seam fastball that time. Basayo stood up to really make sure the runners do not advance, but now with the full count in effect, I guess maybe not with 2 outs, but probably a good chance the runners will start trotting around on the pitch. So full count to Manzardo. The pitch is knocked over into left field. That will get down for a base hit. Fielded there by Taylor Ward. That will not bring in a runner as DeLauder holds up at third base. Very softly hit ball there into left field. Fielded on a hop there by Taylor Ward. So not quite in the sense of it. I guess it was hit hard-ish. It was a curveball. Just kind of blooped over into left field. Just not enough time given for DeLauder, who also held up slightly just in case it was caught. Was no send anyway. Probably a good move there from the Cleveland third base coach. As the throw was well in there, probably would have gotten DeLauder at home. Though it does load the bases now with 1 out for Rhys Hoskins. Hitting .205 so far on the season. 1 home run, 5 RBIs. So Hoskins was a free agent signing from Milwaukee back in February of this year. I believe he was on the Phillies for a long time, if I remember correctly. Hoskins will knock the first pitch, a curveball high in the air, over to third base. Kobe Mayo is calling it. Infield fly rule, I assume, is in effect. That will be out number 2 on 1 pitch there for Bassett. That is badly, badly needed. And now brings up Davis Schneemann, or it might be Daniel? I think it's Davis. Daniel Schneemann, never mind. Who am I thinking of? Daniel, I don't know. Davis Schneemann, former 33rd overall pick back in 2018 by the Guardians. Yeah, I did read that right the first time. 33rd round. I was like, 33rd round couldn't be right. That does not sound right, but no. It was, in fact, correct. 33rd rounder by the Guardians back in 2018. Daniel Schneemann. Hitting .295 so far on the season, though I think he's more of a rotational guy rather than everyday starter. In a 2-0 count here after a curveball and a sinker is missed, high and low respectively. So a walk here would bring in a run, unfortunately for Bassett. Now through 26 pitches here in the first. Anything past the infield will drive in most likely, well, certainly 1, most likely 2. Pitch here is in there for strike 1. We actually get a back pick at second base. Nearly got there as Ramirez was, for some reason, trying to get ahead. Not sure why, because again, the bases are loaded, so there's no point to steal unless, yeah, I don't know. Don't know if we're going to get a challenge here. The throw was very close. I have no idea what Jose Ramirez was thinking there, because no reason to try and get a huge lead. We do play on, but that was interesting there, because Ramirez is like halfway to third base at that point. The throw back, very close, a little high. Henderson almost gets the tag, so the pitch was a strike, by the way. It was also a fastball in there, no swing from Schneemann. 2-1 here is strike 2 on a cutter fastball. Yeah, cut fastball. There we go. High in the zone, catches the zone for strike 2. So 2-2 count here to Schneemann. So I'm still not sure what Ramirez was doing there. I guess he was expecting a hit and trying to like make sure he gets home. But anyway, 2-2 to Schneemann is grounded foul on a cutter there. So the 30th pitch in the first inning for Chris Bassitt can really flip this game one way or another. The lefty Schneemann, pretty lefty-heavy lineup for the Guardians at the moment. Bassitt readies for his 2-2 to Schneemann, and it is grounded right back towards Bassitt, knocked off his glove slightly, fielded by Jeremiah Jackson. Throw over to first is in time for the out. That is a 30-pitch, no-run first inning for Chris Bassitt. Don't think he's too happy with his performance overall. 30 pitches is not exactly something you want to throw in one inning, but no runs in the end there. Stays 0-0, which is very, very nice there for the Orioles. So we move on to the second inning after a very scary first inning for both pitchers, actually. So that was quite the eventful first inning. No runs, though. We are still all square. Let's see. Is my fantasy team fine? Do I need to make any changes? Meant to check this earlier before some of the game started. Let's see. Anyone? Looks like we're fine. Actually, pretty much all. I think it's one of the earliest games to start today. So yeah, we are all good there. See, are there any other games playing today at all, actually? Or at this time? I know there's other games playing. We already had the Mets and the Cubs play. The Cubs won 12-4. Wow. Let's see. There was a 3-run home run by... Who are you? I don't know your name. Moises Ballesteros. That's his name. Catcher, 22 years old. So maybe a rookie there for the Cubs. He had a 3-run home run. And let's see. Because I don't have my usual out-of-town scoreboard to fall back onto during commercial breaks. Let's see. Seiya Suzuki got an RBI. Nico Horner got a 2-run home run. Dansby Swanson got in. Ian Happ got a 2-run home run. Yeah, Cubs are crushing. Mets are having a rough go of things at the moment. That I know. They got swept by the A's, and they also got swept by the Dodgers. Only at 7 wins right now. And for the NL, which is a bit more top-heavy at the moment, not good for the Mets. I mean, again, this is mid-April, so it's still a long way to go. But not a great start for the Mets. So, all right. Leody Taveras up to bat first. Taveras, Cowser, and Mayo. Taveras, lefty. Nice little pickup for the Orioles at the moment. Has been hitting well. 375 as a rotational guy. Looks at strike one on a cutter that drops in. A lot of vertical drop on that cut fastball from Bybee. Like, it almost looks like one of those vertical drop sliders, but it's obviously a lot faster and probably less spin, maybe? I don't know. Like, slightly different movement. There's a changeup that gets Taveras swinging. Probably would have been a strike anyways. It clipped the top of the zone, but Taveras swung at it nonetheless, did not make contact. So Taveras takes his time here. Each team with a hit. Each team with at least one walk as well. So Bybee threw only 24 pitches right now, much less than Bassitt at the moment. 0-2 to Taveras is high for ball one, with a fastball that Taveras does not go after. There we go. Bring that back up. So Taveras, the former Texas Ranger, was on that World Series winning team back in 2023, if I remember correctly. We'll look at ball two. Does not barely go around. Or barely does not go around in the sense, on a changeup down there. So we did, in fact, look at it. I was setting myself up for potential failure had he swung. But instead, it is 2-2 here for Taveras, the lefty. Against the righty, Bybee. Next pitch is high for ball three on a fastball that Taveras does not swing at. So Taveras has looked at a strike, swung at a strike, and then looked at 3 straight balls. Lefty Cowser on deck. Off to not the best start for Colton Cowser. 3-2 to Taveras is chopped over towards shortstop, fielded on a hop. That is safe. Throw is not in time. I think that might have been fielded by the third baseman, Jose Ramirez. It was a very high chopper, very slow developing play. Manager Steven Vogt for the Guardian says play on. Yep, that was Jose Ramirez, who shaded a bit more towards the shortstop side. Just very slow developing play, and Taveras is able to just barely beat out the throw by half a step. So that is an infield single for Leody Taveras. Gets the leadoff man on for the Orioles, which they have struggled a little bit with so far in the season. They've struggled overall with hitting with no outs. Colton Cowser hitting .211 on the season. Always struggle with changeups, and Bybee does throw a changeup. There is a curveball. Taveras runs on the first pitch. He is in safe on the curveball that clips the top of the zone for strike one, but that is a stolen base for Leody Taveras on the first pitch. Bybee throws to the next batter. Very good jump there for Taveras, and is in just in the nick of time. Very good jump there from Taveras. And good throw by the catcher, Bo Naylor, but does not quite get him in time. Cowser will swing through a cutter there for strike one. A lot of these pitches that just tend to drop out from under them, Cowser struggles a lot so far. He's very, very good at hitting fastballs. He's got a lot of power in his bat. Good defensive outfielder as well. Just really struggles with off speed in an 0-2 count here. Looks at a cutter that bounces off the chest plate of Bo Naylor, but is protected enough that Taveras does not try to advance to third. So 1-2 to Cowser here. So 1-2 from Bybee to Cowser. Now 32nd pitch coming up. Still nothing here in the top of the second. Cowser will swing through a curveball for strike three. There's another off speed there that Cowser does not solve. We'll bring up Kobe Mayo, the third baseman for the Orioles. Played first base last year, but obviously with Pete Alonso pretty much taking everyday reps there. Mayo took a lot of practice at third in spring training, and it looked all right. And coming into the season, then actually defensively, Mayo's been pretty good at third base. The bat hasn't quite been there yet, hitting 156 so far, though he's also kind of a rotational guy, mixing in with Blaze Alexander. But at the moment, Mayo, to start the season, he definitely took some good at-bats, but the contact just has not quite been there yet. Bybee will look back to Taveras at second. 1-0 to Mayo at the moment as well. Threw a ball in the dirt on the first one. There's the shift, as well as it can be, is on at the moment, as the opposite field one, as we get a throw attempt back at second base, is not in time. But the Guardians are basically ceding a hit to the first base side, pretty much. They are not expecting any opposite field knock from Kobe Mayo at the moment. Righty hitter working against the righty Bybee. 1-0 to Mayo is outside for ball two on a cutter that does not, or basically gets pulled away a little bit. But Mayo, one of the many young prospects for the Orioles that is still trying to find his way in the majors. Raked a lot in the minors. Hit very well, as with most of these guys, but Major League has not been quite the same. There's a ball low on a changeup. So 3-0 count here for Mayo. But like Mayo and Beavers, Beavers still has plenty of time, but Cowser as well, especially. A lot of these guys, like Basayo as well, Hessen Kerstad, even like you could say Kyle Stowers, who's now been traded, same with Connor Norby. There is ball four just outside on a cutter. So that is a 4-pitch walk for Kobe Mayo. But a lot of these younger guys that the Orioles drafted, mostly just draft picks, really, for a lot of high draft picks over the span of 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, even 2022, 2023, just from being so bad for so long, that they're finally starting to develop in the minors. The Major League skill there, as Jeremiah Jackson takes ball one on a sinker up and in. But a lot of these guys who have done well in the minors, not all of them have been able to find it so far. It's really Jordan Westberg and Gunnar Henderson have probably been the best out of the baby birds, so to speak, for the Orioles. that have found their way in the majors so far. Jeremiah Jackson looks at a ball up by his face for ball 2 as Bybee is suddenly unable to find the strike zone. But Jeremiah Jackson hitting .321 has gone on an absolute tear as of late. Hit a grand slam back on Monday to spur an Orioles comeback against the Diamondbacks. Also hit another home run in that game to make it to extend the lead to 2, and would finish that game by 2 runs. And a 2-0 count here against Tanner Bybee, righty on righty. The pitch to Jeremiah Jackson is knocked over and fouls. Just barely didn't square it around enough. But very dangerous hitter at the moment, Jeremiah Jackson. In a favorable count as well, as Bybee was struggling a little bit to find the strike zone. So Jackson is kind of working himself into the everyday starter role, kind of at second base at the moment. Bybee will get Jackson to swing through a sweeper there for strike 2. A lot of vertical drop on his pitches. Slows Jackson down there. So 2-2 to Jackson. Top of the second, 1 out, runners on first and second. No score at the moment. Get strikeout there on Jeremiah Jackson on a curveball. Very similar to the slider. A little bit more toward the edge of the zone. Gets Jackson swinging. So another breaking ball there gets Jeremiah Jackson to strike out. So second out of the inning for Tanner Bybee. Flips the order over to Gunnar Henderson, who lined out on the first pitch last inning. We'll see if Henderson goes after the first pitch again here. He will knock it high in the air, over into left field. Will that get out? No, it will not. Will fly out to the warning track on the first pitch over to Angel Martinez. So 2 first pitch flyouts to Angel Martinez, courtesy of Gunnar Henderson. Strands 2 there in the second inning for the Orioles. We remain scoreless as we go to the bottom of the second. The Orioles have certainly been working the pitch count against Bybee so far, up to about, I think, 43 pitches now. So that certainly is, again, silver lining, though you certainly would like to get some more, or get some runs there, but better so far offensive approach for the Orioles than it was compared to last night. So, all right. Record-wise, Cleveland Guardians are 11-9. Orioles 9-10. Orioles. So, of course, last week I'm 1-2 in games that I've streamed so far for the Orioles. The O's go. They lose the game last week against San Francisco, which was not the game that Chris Bassett started. That was he won the game. He didn't get the win credited, but because he gave up 2 runs, the O's scored 4 later. But so I guess it would have been Shane Baz who started last Friday. But the O's won 3 straight after, of course, the Friday game that I stream. They win 2 against San Francisco to win that series, and they win the first one against Arizona on Monday in a comeback. Then they lose 3 straight. They lose 2 one-run games. Actually, no, it wasn't a one-run game. But the first one was a one-run game against Arizona, and the second one in the series finale was an extra innings loss by 3. Back on Wednesday. Then yesterday was the 4-2 loss in the no-hitter through 8 innings. So we'll see if the Orioles can turn it around here for the Guardians, at least, because I don't remember exactly how they've been doing over the past couple games. Schedule-wise, they've actually coming off a series loss to the Cardinals. They've lost the last 2. Lost 3 of 4 over the past 4 games. And there's first pitch strike to Angel Martinez on a curveball. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've lost 4 of 7 over the past 7 games. Though again, they won last night. 0-1 to the 7-hitter Martinez is popped up and behind home plate, foul on another curveball. So the off-speed pitch has actually been working pretty well so far for Bassett. Through 30 pitches exactly in the first inning. Hoping for a much faster second inning here at the bottom of the order for Cleveland. The 0-2 to Martinez is just barely chopped foul on a curveball. Almost got a swing and miss, but not the case, so we go again at 0-2. Definitely a bit of a hanging curveball as well, but Martinez looked like he was out in front of it. Out in front and a little bit over top of it. So Bassett calls his next pitch on the PitchCom device, delivers, and it is a fastball way high for ball one. It was a four-seamer, but definitely looked like it had a bit of run to it, so maybe it was actually a two-seamer. I don't know. Maybe it's also the angle of the pitcher's camera, or whatever you want to call it, the camera that you usually look from. There's a fastball high as well for ball two. And that was a cutter that time. Cutters, I think it moves a little bit more. A lot of his pitches, from what I've seen from Bassett so far, tend to run left to right, so away. The cutter moves in a little bit. It's also a little slower. Martinez will ground this one through the gap in short and third for a leadoff single. Henderson was shaded a lot more towards the second base bag. So had he been in the typical spot for a shortstop, that would have been a ground out. But instead, it is a single. Another probably sinker there that Martinez just kind of fights off opposite field roller for a single. Brings up Bo Naylor. Hitting 158 so far on the season. We'll look at the first pitch here and take strike one on a sinker that clips the outside part of the zone. So one of two Nailers in the league right now. His brother Josh, I believe, is still over in Seattle at the moment. Played for Team Canada, both of them did, in the World Baseball Classic. Bassett will throw strike two on a steal attempt here as well, and Martinez is out at second base. Nice throw there from Basayo. Gets Angel Martinez caught stealing, as the curveball was a strike as well. Will we get a challenge attempt at all from the Guardians? Does not look like it. Martinez is trotting back to the dugout. I thought he was safe initially, but I guess the throw beat him. Good jump, but a really good throw from Basayo. Tag is in there very quick, courtesy of Gunnar Henderson. And from that angle, I can't quite tell. A call is out on the field. Do not get a challenge either. So we will play on no matter what. The 0-2-2 Nailer is inside for ball one. And this time the box score is actually behind. Interesting. No, don't want to pull up Steam. Don't need to pull up Steam at the moment, actually. Can get rid of that at the moment. There we go. All right, now it's all caught up. So the 1-2 to Naylor is just below and inside for ball two on a sinker. But the the leadoff single is erased thanks to a very nice throw from Samuel Basayo. I will say, I love Adley Rutschman, but that is one thing he's not very good at, is catching, or his arm strength behind home plate. He's not very good at throwing runners out. Naylor will chop this one, or not chop this one, line this one over to Kobe Mayo at third, who's playing more in the shortstop spot, but that is a soft liner there for out number two. 41 pitches now for Bassett through an inning and 2/3, so much faster and much better start to the second inning than the first inning. We'll bring up Juan Brito, who I also feel like played in the World Baseball Classic. I remember seeing the name. I don't remember which team he was on, but I feel like he played in World Baseball Classic. Takes strike one on a sinker. That is a really nice run there. Runs right back into the bottom left corner. Brito hitting just exactly 200 at the moment. No home runs, 1 RBI. My guess is a rotational guy then. We'll chop this one foul on a cutter. I'd say knock this one, not chop. Chop is a very distinct look. That was not a chop. That was just a knock line foul over by third base in that direction. So Brito the lefty against Bassett the righty. 0-2 count here. He will look at a ball way inside on a cutter that's just yanked in there. But Brito, one of the rookies for Cleveland. 24 years old for Brito. And the 1-2 here is chopped foul on the right side. That is an actual chop right there. Tossed out into the stands by Pete Alonso, who we haven't really said too much. Had the walk in that first inning, but a lot of the hits so far have been to the left side of the field rather than the right side. So the 1-2 again to Brito is chopped over. There's Pete Alonso. Fields it there. Nice defensive play. Not super hard there, but good play nonetheless. So Brito, who was acquired in a trade from the Colorado Rockies back in November 2022. So I guess he's a rookie, though he's not like a super young guy. He's more a minor league guy who is now advanced, as he was, I guess, either drafted or signed back in 2018 by the Rockies. Then has been in the minor league system for the Guardians ever since the trade in 2022. Let's see. Juan Brito. Roster. If I go to your Guardians roster, where is he? He is an infielder. There we go. So he was, does it say up here? Bio. What if I go to Wikipedia? Wikipedia might have it. That might have how he got into the majors. Let's see. Come on. There we go. All right. He was... Wow, there's like nothing here. That is also different Juan Brito. Never mind. You got a very blurry picture of him. Signed as an international free agent by the Colorado Rockies on July 7th, 2018. And let's see, did he play for... doesn't say he played for World Baseball Classic team, but I feel like I remember seeing his name on World Baseball Classic team. Was called up on April 7th to replace... or after the injury to Gabriel Arias, infielder for the Guardians there. All right. We head to the third inning here. Very busy first two innings for Tanner Bybee, though no runs given up so far. Orioles have left 4 on base. Guards left 3 on base in the first inning. So Taylor Ward, for his second at-bat here, will look at strike 1 on a changeup that falls into the zone. So Ward, through 19 games so far, has not hit a home run. His longest streak when he was at an Angel was 20. So it's interesting there that I feel like the Orioles kind of traded him for that home run power, since the O's struggled a lot with home runs last year. So he takes ball 1 upstairs. As we just haven't seen it yet from Ward, but we've seen the contact, just not the power yet. So the 1-1 is just outside for ball 2. So Ward on the 2-1 will look at strike 2 on a changeup. Basically same as the first strike, falls in there. Good bit of changeup so far from Bybee, who's throwing 46 pitches now in the game. 2-2 to Ward here to lead off the third. Will be a curveball, cutter actually. Never mind. Dropping type of pitch, low for ball 3. So nothing there. So Ward in a full count here. Again, Ward's been good at getting on base so far this season. Just the power hasn't quite been there. We'll get on base here with a walk. As the curveball misses high, Ward does not chase after it. So that is a leadoff walk. So that is second straight inning with the leadoff runner on for the Orioles tonight. That is walk number 4 as well. 3, never mind. Walk number 3 for the Orioles. Pete Alonso, who singled back in the first inning. We'll look to try and get Ward over a bit. Looks at strike 1 on a cutter that falls into the top of the zone there. So Alonso, who ripped one over into left field for a single back in the first. We'll look at the 50th pitch from Bybee here. Wouldn't mind some bit of power from Alonso at the moment. There is a cutter that gets away from Bo Naylor. Ward goes to second. He will make it in time on the wild pitch. Naylor did not do a great job of blocking that curveball in the dirt, though it was not a very good pitch to try and block as well. But yeah, not a good job there from Bo Naylor, so that's probably more on him compared to Bybee's pitch, and Ward's able to get in there, by a second or two. Naylor, from what I heard on the broadcast, not a very good blocking catcher. Shows off his not very good skills there. So runner in scoring position now for the Orioles. Alonso in the 1-1 count here. Ward lingering at second. Get a nice look at him from the camera. Pete will look at ball 2 on a sweeper away. There we go. All right, back. So Alonso got off to definitely a slow start. Has looked better as of late, I'd say, this past week. It's definitely being a lot more patient compared to his first couple weeks. Will ground this one right back to Tanner Bybee, who will get Ward in a pickle here. That will get Alonso at least to first base, but Ward will get run down here. So that eliminates the runner at second. Alonso basically grounds into a fielder's choice, essentially. Ward just got caught up in a jam a little bit. Really nice defensive play there from Tanner Bybee as Alonso chopped one right back to Tanner Bybee. So Ward was doing his best, but good defense there from Cleveland to force Ward out and prevent Alonso from advancing over to second base. Ward stumbled a little bit after the ball was immediately caught because he was definitely looking to go to third off of contact, but was not to be there, so that eliminates the running scoring position as Beavers fouls this first pitch back on a fastball for strike 1. So a bit of a bad break there for the Orioles. 0 for 5 so far on the night with runners in scoring position, though it is still only through 2 1/3. Alonso also at first base, so it's only 1 out so far in this third inning. Beavers, who walked in the first inning, will, in the 0-1 count here, knock this one over into center field. Will that stay up? Yes, it will. That will be caught by Stephen Kwan. Alonso forced to retreat back to first base, so a hard line out straight to center field is what the result for Dylan Beavers here in the third. That will bring up Samuel Basayo. So some hard contact there from Beavers, but directly to Stephen Kwan. Does not advance the runner there. Basayo, who struck out in the first inning to end the first inning, up now with Alonso over at first base. 54 pitches for Bybee. 55th here is swung on and missed by Basayo on a sweeper that is very well placed. So Basayo has not been able to figure out Bybee yet so far this game. He's taken a lot of big swings. A lot of breaking balls have gone by Basayo so far tonight, in the sense that he swung through them and missed. Well, we see another one here. It will be a fastball this time. That is called strike 2, clipped the outside part of the zone. No swing from Basayo there, but it is a strike nonetheless. Basayo takes his time here. 95-mile-per-hour four-seamer there from Bybee. So quick 0-2 hole again against Basayo, who struck out on 3 pitches last time he was up. Will he change his fate here? Naylor's lining up high. It will be a fastball that is whale high. Combine well and way to whale. Turned southern there for a sec, but it was fouled off by Basayo, so it's still 0-2. I promise I'm not from the South. I do not have that kind of accent, naturally. I could do a really bad one if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. So 0-2 again to Basayo is down and in for ball 1 on a changeup that Basayo does not swing at. So a little bit more patience from Basayo this time. Like that. 1-2 again. Now 59th pitch from Bybee to Basayo here is in the dirt for ball 2. Cutter there blocked better by Bo Naylor that time. Alonso does not attempt to advance, but it is now 2-2. So Basayo's worked himself back into the count, has not offered at pair of changeups in the dirt. 60th pitch from Bybee here will be to Basayo on the 2-2 count, and it will be chopped foul off of home plate and kind of off his foot a little bit. Basayo does not react to it at all. So we go again. Be 22 pitches in the first, 20 in the second, 18. Well, it will be at least 19 in the second for Bybee. So Orioles doing a much better job at working the count, though they still have not been able to solve scoring a run here. But it's much better than last night, that's for sure. 2-2 Basayo is chopped up over to second base. That will be fielded on a hop by the shortstop, Schneemann. Throws out Basayo over at first. So that is the end of the inning there. So again, silver lining. Orioles work the count, but get no runs out of it. Still struggle with runners in scoring position today. But credit Tanner Bybee that inning for a good defensive play on that chopper from Pete Alonso. So Orioles go down in the third, scoring no runs, though 61 pitches for Bybee is, again, pretty much the only silver lining there. So much better plate discipline, at least, compared to earlier in this series between the Orioles and the Guardians. As we go to the bottom of the third inning, we'll bring up the top of the order for the Guardians and Kwan, DeLauder, and Ramirez. Both DeLauder and Ramirez walked back in the first inning. Kwan had lined out, so we'll see what happens here. So you have any games. It is a little bit past 7 o'clock now at this point. Have any games started? Besides this one. Let me check. Let me check. A couple, actually. At least one. All right. The Rays and the Pirates have started. The Nats and the not Guardians, the Giants, other G team, they've started. Then the A's, no, not the A's, different A team, Braves, the Atlanta Braves. I just see the A logo because I'm looking at my fantasy team at the moment. But the Braves and the Phillies have started, so let me actually go check those scores there. Braves are actually up 2-0 at the moment through first inning. Ozzie Albies RBI ground out, and about to say Carl Yastrzemski, but that is a different Yastrzemski. Mike Yastrzemski also got an RBI there, infield single. So 2 small ball type of hits there for the Braves gets them 2 runs there in the top of the first against the Phillies. And that is, Giants actually scored 3 runs so far against the Nats on a 3-run Heliot Ramos home run in the second inning there. As Stephen Kwan takes ball 1 on a fastball from Chris Bassett on his 47th pitch of the night. So much better second inning from Chris Bassett. Throws a strike there on a sinker right in the top middle of the zone. Kwan does not swing at it. So good bounce back after that first inning from Bassett. Let's see if he can continue rolling here in the third inning. Kwan will take ball 2 on a cutter inside. Has to contort out of the way slightly. But again, this the top part of the order for Cleveland is very, very pesky. And Kwan, DeLauder, and Ramirez. 2-1 to Kwan here is knocked over and just past the diving Gunnar Henderson. That will be a single for Stephen Kwan. Henderson, not quite sure what happened with Henderson there because it looked like he had it, but he didn't, obviously. Just snuck right by him. So single there for Stephen Kwan. Gets his first hit of the night. I'll bring up Chase DeLauder as well. So first pitch to DeLauder is low for ball 1 on a changeup. Yeah, that was the kind of hit that Samuel Basayo was hoping for last night. It was just would have barely gotten past the glove. There's a chopper from DeLauder over 2 seconds, fielded by Jeremiah Jackson. That will get only 1. So it gets the leadoff man Kwan at second. But kind of a slow chopper there from DeLauder. Fielded well by Jeremiah Jackson, flipped over to Gunnar Henderson for the out at second, though DeLauder beats the throw out at first. So, yeah, shovel over to Henderson. Cuts off a little bit of time, but very small distance between Jackson and Henderson. So replace Kwan with the Louder at first base, add an out, and it brings up Jose Ramirez, who walked back in the first inning. Will check his swing. Nope, foul tip actually on the cutter high. So that is strike one. Again, Ramirez homered in the first inning last night. Walked in the first inning tonight. Runner on first here. Will knock this one foul on a cutter in the middle of the zone. So quick 0-2 hole against Ramirez. Bassett has really picked up finding the strike zone compared to that first inning. So a nice matchup between two veterans here, and Bassett and Ramirez. A lot of ground balls so far from Bassett. A lot of low hits, a lot of liners, a lot of grounders. Not too many fly balls so far. Really from either team. I mean, a couple kind of higher-ish liners from the Orioles, but a lot of low stuff as we get an attempted back pick, or it looks like Pasaya was going to for a sec. Does not throw, as there's ball one on a cutter up and in. But Orioles, especially against the White Sox, but I could see them doing it a good bit against the Guardians here, trying to back pick. Ramirez was almost back picked in the first inning by Basayo at second base when the bases were loaded, though he was in safe there. Ramirez will look at ball two on a sinker, runs outside there. That was the pitch that was missing a lot in the first inning. So Ramirez has worked himself back into the count here at 2-2. 56 pitches for Bassett through 2 1/3. So both starting pitchers have thrown a lot of pitches so far in the game. 2-2 to Ramirez is fouled away on a sinker. So we go again. But a very, very pesky battle between these two at the moment. But Ramirez, definitely the best hitter on the team, historically. 2-2 to Ramirez here is outside on a curveball for ball three. Ramirez does not swing at it, so he runs the count full from 0-2 to 3-2. Ramirez, again, walked in the first inning. And it's like, I feel like you're okay walking Ramirez just because, he's got the skill. Ramirez instead will knock this one high over into right field. That will not get out. Cowser calls off Tavares in center, and that is fielded nicely there. Or caught nicely there by Cowser. So looked like off the bat that might have been a homer, but just wasn't quite enough there for Ramirez. So it is a loud fly out there for Jose Ramirez. The Louder didn't quite initially realize that it was going to be a fly out, so he has to rush back to first base. Luckily for him, Cowser's throw was not on line. Wouldn't have got there anyway, but was almost a brain fart there from Chase to Louder. Brings up Kyle Manzardo as a throwback at first base is not in time. Manzardo, who got a hit last time he was up over into left field to load the bases against Bassett in the first inning, though was not able to advance after that. Does not have a runner in scoring position this time, though. He will look at ball one on a fastball well upstairs. So Manzardo will knock this one high over to Cowser. Will that get out? That will be at the warning track. That will do it for the third inning. I was watching the replay. Guess Bassett was trying to direct traffic on that fly out because Basayo might not have been backing up Cowser. In the end, it is a pair of flyouts that will get Bassett out of the inning with no runs scored via the Guardians. So we stay at 0 apiece as we move on to the fourth inning. I believe it will be Tavares, Cowser, and Mayo up to bat. So same as the second inning, actually, as who started out. Tavares, who got an infield single last time he was up. Cowser struck out, and Mayo walked for these three. See how it goes this time as Bybee throwing a lot of pitches, giving up a couple hits, couple walks, throwing a couple strikeouts. No runs so far for him. Very similar to Bassett, though Bassett has not struck out a batter yet. 3 hits, 2 walks, no strikeouts, though again has not given up a run. So very, again, active start of the game, but no runs to show for either team. Over in football news, because I actually want to cover a few things. So there's obviously the whole Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel stuff going on, which has been very interesting drama there. But today, at least, Will Anderson got a massive payday. I think it's like 3-year, $150 million extension, which is well-deserved because Will Anderson is insanely good. And then also Jacoby Brissett's holding out for a bigger contract because he wants more money as a starter since he's looking to be the starter and the Cardinals are paying him more, so like backup money. I think he's making like $9 million per year for like 1 year that on his deal or something like that, and he wants more since he's started a lot of games down the stretch last season and is in line to be the starter because right now his only competition is Gardner Minshew, I believe. So yeah, I mean, there's a good chance Arizona goes a quarterback in the draft. I don't think they're going to go Ty Simpson at what, 3rd overall or 4th overall, one of the two. Anyway, Tavares looks at ball 1 from Tanner Bybee on a curveball. But yeah, I'm not sure what Arizona's going to do. Like if they're going to go Ty Simpson early, maybe they trade, like do what New York did last year and trade back up into late in the first round, late in the first round. We'll see. So Tavares in the 1-0 count against Bybee. Again, he's singled in the infield. He will swing through a cutter there for strike 1. The O's struggled a good bit so far with runners in scoring position. Have not seen a runner get to third base yet. Only seen a couple of guys get to second. A couple walks there. Tavares will look at ball 2. There's a called strike. Should challenge that. Tavares is not going to challenge, though. O's have started off really good efficiency-wise in terms of ABS challenges, though they have struggled a lot more as of late. So I think the call from the managerial staff is to not challenge earlier on in the game. So 1-2 to Tavares should be 2-1, but it is 1-2. Tavares will knock this one high over into left field. That will stay in the park and fielded there by Angel Martinez for out number 1. So not a ton of hard contact so far against Bybee. It's like when it's getting into the outfield, when it is hard contact and all that, it is basically right to an outfielder. Couple liners, but not too much so far from Orioles hitting. Hauser will look at strike 1 and change up that falls right in there. So 66 pitches already for Tanner Bybee, but again, no runs, no base runners so far in the top of the 4th either. So overall, not too bad. Hauser will ground this one over to second base pretty softly there, fielded there by the second baseman Brito, and throws Hauser out at first. So quick 2 up, 2 down for Bybee here in the 4th inning. I'll bring up Kobe Mayo, who walked in the 2nd inning. So Bybee's definitely starting to get into the groove here a little bit as the middle and bottom part of the Oriole order has not been able to figure him out at the moment. Kobe Mayo will knock this one over into left field. Will that stay fair? It just foul, I guess. That camera just completely lost track of that. That was a high line or like high knock over to left field. Is Albernaz going to challenge this? Because it's either a foul ball or home run, one of the two. I think Albie's going to talk with the umpires because this was the Madison camera crew was not sure where this ball went. It was interesting. Crew chief review on this. So no managerial challenge. We'll get a crew chief review. So if this gets overturned, it will be 1-0 Orioles as Mayo just launched this one over into left field. It was very weird. And there's like no fanfare to it. And then it just kind of like dropped by the foul pole. Like Mayo got all of it. That's for sure. Like he just rocketed this one over into left field. but the camera tracking was like, it just lose it up there. I had no idea where it lands. Like, you just kind of see it end up somewhere at the end, but like it just disappears for a bit. It drops. It might have like hit the foul pole and dropped straight down. I don't know. Like it was. This is very weird so far. I think it like hits something and then drops straight down, but I don't know what it hits. Either that or it was just so high that it dropped straight down. But it's this is a interesting one. The review is still pending at the moment. Again, the camera crew did not do a very good job at finding the ball, but the ball just kind of disappeared for a bit as well. Like it just kind of disappeared, reappeared. It might not have hit something. I think it was just a really high like pop up, I guess, and it is confirmed foul. So just barely missed a homer there, did Kobe Mayo. So instead, a very long awaited 0-1. But Mayo certainly got all of it there. So we'll go again here. Back to your regularly scheduled baseball. So Mayo 0-1 after a bit of excitement there, working against Bybee here. Walked his first time up. Got a bit of excitement there. Next pitch is check swing, called strike 2. Cutter probably clipped the outside of the zone. Don't think the call was on the swing. It's like really close to clipping the outside of the zone. It's very, very close. Like 1/10 of an inch either way, pretty much. I'm okay with Mayo not challenging that one because that was really close. In a no-2 hole here, though. Again, 2 outs, nobody on, top of the 4th. Mayo will look at ball 1 on a curveball up high. 70 pitches now for Bybee after a bit of a scare. But still nothing at the moment. But Mayo certainly has a lot of pop to his bat as well. Just needs to start figuring it out here. We'll look at ball 2 on a changeup low and away. Just needs to get a bit more consistent. Mayo didn't play it. I mean, he played a lot more consistently last year towards the end of the season, like the back half after Ryan Mountcastle went down, but has not seen a ton of major league bats as a whole. 2-2 here to Mayo is grounded over past a dive at shortstop from Schneemann, and that is a single there for Kobe Mayo on a 2-2 pitch with 2 outs. That was on a fastball as well, so very hard hit ball on the ground from Kobe Mayo. That was a fastball pretty much middle of the zone. Mayo was kind of on top of it and grounds it past a diving Daniel Schneemann. So that is a 2-out base hit for Kobe Mayo. Brings up Jeremiah Jackson, who struck out on a couple breaking balls last time he was up. Jackson will chop the first pitch over to second base, fielded there by the second baseman Brito. Throws Jeremiah Jackson out at first base. So that is another stranded runner for the Orioles. And that is no score once again as we move on to the bottom of the 4th inning. Tied 0-0 here between the Orioles and the Guardians. Let's go check that scoreboard. So again, Orioles working the pitch count. Nice bit of work there from Kobe Mayo. Nearly got a home run, but didn't quite have it in the end. Jeremiah Jackson cold to start this game after a very hot week. Will be top of the order after that in Henderson, Ward, and Alonso in the 5th inning. But instead, we will turn it over to Chris Bassett in a moment or so. After commercial break, the Braves are now up 6-0 against the Phillies as they scored 4 more in the 2nd inning. Matt Olson got an RBI single, and then Austin Riley, I'm pretty sure that's his first name. Austin Riley got a 3-run home run to break that game open there. Still in that 2nd inning, actually, not on the bottom of the 2nd inning. Actually had a hit by pitch there, so Phillies get a man on there. Pirates scored first run against the Rays on a Spencer Horwitz RBI double. Pirates off to a good start so far, 11-8. Actually, both those teams, Rays 11-7, Pirates 11-8. Kind of some surprises there so far in this season. Giants up 6-0 against the Nats now. Scored all 6 in that 2nd inning. So again, the Heliot Ramos 3-run home run, then a Matt Chapman 2 RBI single, and then a Rafi Devers RBI double actually. makes it 6-0 there against the Nats. Nats 9-10. As their pitching is just really struggling at the moment, but their offense got some pop to it. CJ Abrams actually one of the best hitters in the league at the moment. The Giants off to a very slow start though, 7-12 at the moment, but they're up big against the Nats there. Royals and Yankees started, as well as the Red Sox and Tigers. Both those games are 0-0. Brewers and Marlins also started. That's also 0-0. So bottom of the fourth here, Chris Bassett back out to pitch, working against Rhys Hoskins. Takes ball one there, does Rhys Hoskins on the curveball. Let me go look up how long Hoskins was on the Phillies, because I know he was on the Phillies for a while. At least I feel like he was. It's a strike one there on a sinker that curls back in. Hoskins was on Phillies from 2017 to 2022, then was on the Brewers from 2024 to 2025, and now on the Guardians here in 2026. And a 1-1 count against Bassett will knock this one over into right field for a single. In the gap in between first and second there, nobody anywhere close to make a play. So liner sinker there, or liner single for, might have been on a sinker, for Rhys Hoskins. Gets the leadoff man on for Cleveland here in the bottom of the fourth. Brings up Daniel Schneemann, who was in on the, or was almost in on the play last inning, just barely missed the Kobe Mayo single. He will ground this one over to Jeremiah Jackson at second. He was shaded very much towards first base, so the only play is at first for Jeremiah Jackson. So that is a fielder's choice there for Schneemann that he grounds into. Does advance Hoskins over to second base, though Schneemann is out at first. Basically on the first pitch he saw, it looked like it was either a changeup or a curveball that he swung at. So a slow chopper there to Jackson was the result, and it would have basically been no play at second base to try and get Hoskins out there. Angel Martinez, who singled last time, was up, then got caught stealing. Fouls the first pitch away on a cutter. So 66 pitches now for Bassett, who, after a rough first inning, has found his groove a little bit so far in these next couple innings, though does have a bit of trouble here with Rhys Hoskins at second, as Martinez swings through a curveball for strike two. No chance there for Martinez to make any contact. So quick 0-2 count here for the Guardians left fielder. So 0-2 count from Bassett to Martinez. High for ball one on a cutter that Martinez does not swing at. So a single could potentially bring in Hoskins if Martinez is able to duplicate what he did last time. Bassett certainly would like that to not happen again. Instead, it is a 1-2 count here, and Martinez will swing through a fastball for strike three up above the zone with a four-seamer. Martinez goes fishing and does not make any contact. So that is strikeout number one for Chris Bassett and out number two in the inning. 91 miles per hour on the four-seamer. Might have been more like a two-seamer, I think. Masson's calling it a four-seamer, but to me it looks more like a two-seamer. At least in terms of maybe even a sinker, maybe, I don't know. Some kind of fastball with a little bit of movement, not very fast. Bo Naylor takes ball one on a cutter inside. Let's see. Baseball Savant, what do you say? Four-seamer. It's mile per hour wise, that's right on it actually. So there might have been a four-seamer. His four-seamer and sinker are basically the same exact velocity. I think it's just different run there. And like Kevin Brown and Ben McDonald are calling that sinker a two-seamer as well, so that's why I'm confused. Bo Naylor takes two on a curveball also. Oh, whoops. There we go. So Naylor 0 for 1 so far on the night in a favorable count here with a runner on second. 72nd pitch from Bassett here is knocked foul on a sinker there. That will, get out of play. Over into the third base side, left field side stands. So again, favorable count here for Bo Naylor. with a chance to drive in the game's first run. But Bassett an out away of getting through 4 scoreless. There is a ball on a changeup that Naylor checks his swing on. So 3-1 count here for Bo Naylor. First base is open, so a walk does not kill you. Would bring up Juan Brito after that if Bo Naylor were to reach. So 3-1 here to Naylor is in there for strike 2 on a curveball that drops in. Naylor does not swing at it, so the count runs full. And nice little pitch there from Bassett. I mean, that ball is like starting at Bo Naylor's face, and it drops in for a strike. That is impressive. So 3-2 to Naylor is shredded foul on a bat that, basically, Bo Naylor's bat gets absolutely shredded, and it just dribbles foul over the third base side. On another curveball from the looks of things. Yeah, it was a curveball. Naylor just flips the bat out in front. The bat goes... Parts of the bat go absolutely flying. So instead it is just a foul ball, and we will go again. So again, full count here. Runner on second. 2 outs. Nothing. Score here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Next pitch is chopped over to first base, fielded by Alonso. Flip over to Bassett, and that is the out there. 4 scoreless for Chris Bassett in his best start of the season so far. Very nice there. Love that. So Bassett has definitely turned things around in terms of being a bit more efficient so far after that long first inning. Through, 30 pitches, I think, in that first inning. Is now up to like 73, 74 on the night. So basically 30 pitches through 1 inning and then like 40-something through the next 3. That is much better there for Chris Bassett. As we will go back over to the top of the order for the Orioles to start the 5th inning. And so, yeah, football news, yeah. Will Anderson getting that big payday is big. I forget, does Houston, I think Houston has a pick in the first round. I actually don't remember if they do. Let me quickly check the draft order. See if I go here, draft, there we go. Does it have the order on ESPN? Draftcast. There we go. No, Draftcast release rounds. Yeah, there we go. All right. Houston has pick 28. Okay. I forget what all the mocks say Houston's going to go with. I don't know if maybe my guess is offensive line, but maybe a wide receiver. I don't know. It's like maybe like Casey Concepcion or something like that. I don't know. But it is less than a week away now, which I'm very excited about. We'll get most likely Fernando Mendoza going first overall, and then probably Orville Reese going second overall. I feel like the consensus I've seen is those two going 1 and 2. Cardinals at 3. Again, I don't think they go Ty Simpson third overall, but I mean, like maybe they trade back up with, I don't know, the Bills or the 49ers. Maybe they trade up with the 49ers at pick 27. I guess that's only trying to loop over the Texans. I mean, maybe they trade up with the Chiefs at 29 to try and loop the Dolphins. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. That is for the next stream, next Thursday. That's what I'm going to do next Thursday. Maybe I do a Super Metroid stream next Tuesday. Depends on my schedule, really. Because I want to get Super Metroid done. But obviously the NFL draft is a one-time thing, so I'm going to be streaming that next Thursday. Henderson, the first pitch he sees, takes the first pitch this time on a sinker just below the zone. So Henderson will see a second pitch for the first time tonight. In the sense of a second pitch during the at-bat, as he's lined out both times beforehand. This time, Henderson will foul this one back on a changeup high in the zone. Why is OBS giving me that blink? You're fine, OBS. You're good. So Henderson's been aggressive so far tonight in a 1-1 count here. He's gotten some decent power onto his hits, but has basically hit it directly to Angel Martinez both times. He will swing through a cutter there for strike 2. Got under that one. So Orioles still struggling to find runs here in Cleveland so far. But again, doing much better in terms of working the pitch count against the opposing starter compared to last night. The 1-2 from Bybee to Gunnar here, as he delivers, is swung on a miss. Strike 3 on a curveball. Gunnar goes down, swinging for a strikeout after seeing first pitch ball. Swings, takes strike 1, then swings through strike 2 and 3. Actually, I guess he fouled off the first pitch. That's what it was. Okay, curveball. Henderson should not have swung on that one. Was out way out in front of it. Goes down 0 for 3 on the night. Fourth strikeout for Bybee on the night as well. Brings up Taylor Ward, 0 for 1 with a walk on the night. 78th pitch from Bybee here is spiked in the dirt on a sinker there for ball 1. So again, Orioles not the best with hitting with no outs. Although they had got the leadoff runner on a couple times before that, but Gunnar Henderson go down there. Ward will ground this one over to a diving Daniel Schneemann. Fields it there. Throw over to first base is just in time for the out there. Good play there by Daniel Schneemann at shortstop on the line out. Or, well, not the line, the liner. Liner ground ball type deal from Taylor Ward. Got a lot of power under that, but good, really good play there by Schneemann. And just gets Ward out by half a step, basically. So 2 very quick outs for Tanner Bybee here in the top of the 5th. Brings up Pete Alonso, 1 for 2 on the night. He will ground the first pitch over to Schneemann. He cannot field this one instead, so that is a single for Pete Alonso, second single of the day. He will stop at first, but that is another 2-out hit for the Orioles there. Another hit for Pete Alonso. So 109.5 off the bat for Alonso. So very hard hit, just hit it into the ground. So will just be a single for Pete Alonso, but certainly love seeing that there. Just get the bat warmed up a little bit for the Polar Bear. Brings up Dylan Beavers, who 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. Beavers swears to bunt and bunts that back into Bo Naylor's mitt for strike 1. Interesting there with bunting with 2 outs, but third base line is very open at the moment, so a hard bunt down that line could potentially get a single there. Beavers is lefty as well, so lefty batter, righty pitcher. 82nd pitch here from Bybee to Beavers now on the 0-1 is swung on a missed on a cutter that drops below the zone. Beavers does not square to bunt there. Instead, he swings and misses. So quick 0-2 hole here for the Beav Man. That is not a nickname I don't think he ever uses. That was just something I completely made up. So anyway, an 0-2 to Beavers here, who's doing an all right job so far this season. Would be nice if he could get a hit here. He will look at ball 1 on a cutter that is outside the zone. Fine with that. But again, Orioles not the worst. Well, actually pretty decent at hitting with 2 outs. But Beavers still in a hole here, 1 and 2. Will swing through a curveball for strike 3. So that will do it for the inning. Pair of strikeouts for Bybee, gets the Orioles down. Does give up the single to Alonso and nothing more. That is 7 now left on base for the Orioles. Most of them left on first. Who's on second? I don't know. He's on third. I'll be right back because I'm going to get some water. Alright, I'm back after that quick Abbott and Costello reference. Let's check the scoreboard. Yeah, I'll just check it anyway. Even if we're probably going to go back to the top of the sixth here soon. Let's see, any changes in the scoreboard at the moment? Nothing, obviously, in the Orioles Guardians. Nothing in the Tigers Red Sox. Braves up 7-0 now against the Phillies. A Smith home run. Solo home run. Dominic Smith, that's his name. He had a solo home run there. Pirates still up 1-0 against the Rays. Nats got their first run against the Giants. Was a... What's your first name? Brady House, RBI, fielder's choice. Royals and Yankees still 0-0 as first pitch from Bassett to Brito is fouled off on a cutter. And also no score between the Brewers and the Marlins. That's it for the scoreboard. As we're already into the bottom fifth, I don't know why I said top of the sixth. We still have the Guardians to go through. Brito will fist this one over to Gunnar Henderson at shortstop, basically behind second base. Just kind of got jammed on the inside part of his bat. And very, very weak. I don't even know if you call that a fly ball. It was just kind of a... Like, it's not a... I mean, I guess it's a fly ball, but a very, very low fly ball. Because there's just no power under that bit of contact whatsoever. So that brings up Steven Kwan. Order turns back over here as Kwan looks at ball one. So Kwan 1 for 2 on the night. One down here in the bottom of the fifth. 80th pitch from Bassett to Kwan is low for ball 2 on a curveball. Good pitch there, but Kwan does not swing at it. So the 2-0 to Kwan. And another favorable count here. Kwan's really good at working the count so far tonight. And really just kind of his career, I feel like. Takes inside for ball 3 on a cutter that is just yanked well inside. So 3-0 count now for Kwan. No chance he swings. I'd be shocked if he swings here. Just because I feel like he's not the type of guy to do that. Does not swing. There's a sinker that clips the zone for strike one. It's actually more than a clip. It was definitely in there, bottom of the zone. But again, Kwan's still in a very favorable count. Does have, I believe it was a single. We'll look at ball 4 on a sinker that is just a little high. So Kwan does not swing his bat at all of that at bat. Takes five pitches. I think we'll get a challenge from Samuel Basayo here. The pitch definitely looked high, and it is high. So that was, yeah. I don't know if it was a Bassett challenge or a Basayo challenge, but it was an inch and 1.2 inches high. I think it might have been a Bassett challenge, and he was very surprised. The Orioles lose their first challenge of the night. They have one challenge remaining. Brings up Chase DeLauter, who is 0 for 1 on the night. Did ground in, has a walk grounded into a fielder's choice. Takes ball 1 on a sinker just outside. So my guess is this will be Bassett's last inning, unless he is able to get a double play and then a fly out in the next batter. DeLauter will knock this one high over into right field. If that stays fair, that is gone. That is... Actually, no, that is not out of there. Caught by Cowser, I think. Wow, that ball looked like it was gone off the bat of DeLauter. Instead, Cowser slides over into foul territory. He's a little shaken up as well. I think he might have collided with the wall. Makes the catch for out number 2, but Cowser is shaken up. Don't need more injuries for the Orioles. Albie is trotting out there. Cowser is definitely shaken up. Albanez is out there immediately. Yeah, that is... Ball did not go instead. That was in foul territory. Cowser collides with the wall. I think he jammed his knee. Yeah, hits his kneecap right against the wall. That's what it was. Yeah. Oh, that's got to hurt. So, yeah. Cowser hits his right knee against the padded wall, but he's basically had no chance to try and brace. That is just straight kneecap right into the wall. That's got to hurt a ton. So it's out number 2. I thought that ball was gone off the bat of DeLauter. Definitely looked like it wasn't going to be the longest home run, but given how he's hitting so far, it was high, it was deep, but it was not deep enough. It was actually in foul territory as well, so it would have been a foul ball. So it is out number 2. Kwan remains at first base. Jonathan Rodriguez is throwing a ball in the dugout. He would probably be the defensive replacement for Cowser to sub in, essentially. He's now out of the dugout and kind of right in front of it. Cowser shaking out his leg. See if he stays in the game. He's walking all right at the moment. It looks like he's saying he's all right now. So I think Cowser will remain in the game. That's just knee straight to a wall has never got to feel good, but looks like he's going to tough it out. So a very nice play there for Cowser. Stays in the game as well. Cowser does tend to play more in center field, so he's definitely got that good ranging ability there. We'll see. Hopefully he's going to be fine for the rest of the game. So that will bring up Jose Ramirez, 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. Cowser is still kind of shaking out his leg a little bit, but again, he's waved off the training staff and Craig Albernaz, so he's determined to stay in there. 85 pitches for Bassett at the moment. Jose Ramirez is definitely not the guy you really want to face at the moment as well, but in the end, you kind of have to face him no matter what. Ball 1 to Ramirez is high on a fastball. But yeah, it's Jose Ramirez, always a guy who can certainly make a hit out of nothing. Takes ball 2 high as well. So 87 pitches now for Chris Bassett. For sure his last inning. I would have to assume this is the last inning. Like, even if he gets Ramirez to get out next time, like maybe he comes on for a batter. That's it, but definitely his last full inning for sure. There's a curveball that drops in for strike 1. Nice pitch there. So if Bassett were to get through this, it would be his longest start of the season. Has only gone went 4 and a third inning his first at bat or first outing, 2 innings the second outing, 4 and 2/3 his third outing, and is currently through 4 and 2/3 here in his fourth. Throws ball 3 to Ramirez out and away. Again, has through 4 and 2/3, has not given up a run, but again, could certainly change with Ramirez at the moment, especially in a 3-1 count. But would certainly love as an Orioles fan for Bassett to get out of the inning here as Ramirez fouls off a cutter basically at the hands for strike 2. This is clearly ball 4, but Ramirez was swinging for the fences there. Ramirez he wanted to swing no matter what. That cutter was well inside, and it was well off the inside of the bat and foul. Ramirez almost falls back into the umpire. He was swinging so hard there. So full count now to Ramirez on the 91st pitch coming up. It will be outside for ball 4. So curveball that Ramirez does not chase will bring up Kyle Manzardo, who is 1 for 2 on the night. We'll get Orioles pitching coach Drew French showing up. Yennier Cano warming up in the Baltimore bullpen. Again, don't think Bassett is going to depart the game at the moment, because it's 91 pitches, can probably still go another batter. But if Manzardo were to reach after this, could probably see pitching change after that, unless it's like on the first pitch. But even still, it's probably Bassett's last batter no matter what. And as an Orioles fan like me, you hope that this is the last batter of the inning as well. So the Orioles bullpen's pretty well rested. Cameron Foster pitched 42 threw 42 pitches last night after Shane Baz pitched. I mean, didn't pitch a bad game, all things considered. It was the Orioles offense could do nothing. So again, Orioles bullpen pretty well rested. First pitch to Manzardo is in there for strike 1 on a curveball. So certainly like that. There are a lot of curveballs tonight from Chris Bassett. Gets him ahead of the count here to start. Next pitch is swung on and missed on a cutter there. So quick 0-2 count for Bassett. Love that. So after struggling against Ramirez, 0-2 here to Manzardo. Does have it in the game so far. He will foul this one back on a fastball at the top of the zone. And I think the Guardians were trying. Stephen Kwan was, I think, trying to relay signals as best he could to his buddy Manzardo down there. Next pitch is outside for ball one on a curveball there. But a nice little battle here between Bassett and Manzardo. And it's like there's no rule against trying to signal what you can from second base, as Manzardo will pop this one up, and that will get out of play over by third base, just a little bit behind third base. Or I guess past third base in the foul territory, in the stands over there. So 96 pitches now for Bassett here, 4 2/3, 2 runners on, 2 outs here. Strike away from getting through it. But also a hit away from spoiling a pretty not too bad outing so far. 97 to Manzardo is in the dirt. Samuel Basayo is not able to get it cleanly, so that will advance Kwan over to third. Ramirez does not advance to second. So wild pitch there, not quite fielded there by Basayo, who, he's got the better arm than Natalie Rutschman behind home plate, but Rutschman is a much better blocking catcher and just like overall defensive catcher compared to Basayo there. So that's one Rutschman probably gets, and advances Kwan over to third. So anything past the infield will certainly score a run now. But again, Bassett is 1 strike away from getting Manzardo out. He will foul this one away at his fist. That will be behind home plate, and we will go again on the 98th pitch he threw. So a very, very tough battle between Bassett and Manzardo here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Guardians looking for their first run of the night. Next pitch is in there. Is it called strike 3? No, it is not. We get a steal from Jose Ramirez. Probably could challenge that one. They will not, however. So full count now from in this matchup. Definitely from here looked like it clipped the zone. It was a curveball that was just outside, though. Really close. So full count now to Manzardo on the 100th pitch coming up. It is called strike 3. Nice little sinker there that runs in. And that is it for the inning. Bassett is... I think Bassett didn't realize that it was strike 3 because Basayo started throwing around the horn, and Bassett was going like, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. It's still... Bassett's like, wait, no, don't do it. And then he's realized, oh, wait, it's strike 3. I'm out of the inning. We're good. You're good, Bassett. You're good. You got through 5 scoreless. So Bassett strands 2 in scoring position there. And we go on to the 6th inning after a very eventful, though still scoreless, first 5 innings there between the Orioles and the Guardians. Interesting game so far. A lot of pitches seen and no runs. So not very good situational hitting, but, I'll take it for Bassett. He definitely has not gotten off to the greatest start in the world. Not a very good start either for the Orioles, but 5 scoreless there against the Guardians. Like that. So after a very long bottom of the 4th, let's go back to the scoreboard and check and see what's going on here. No change in the Orioles Guardians, obviously. No change Tigers Red Sox. No change Braves Phillies. Pirates still up 1-0. Giants up 8-1 now against the Nationals, so they got a run back. I actually got 2 runs back now that I look at it. There was a, what is your first name? Gilbert. Drew Gilbert, solo home run. And then a Matt Chapman RBI single. So that is 8-1 there. Royals and Yankees still 0-0. Brewers Marlins also still 0-0. So that does it for out of town scoreboard. Not too many changes there. A couple of games will be starting later on in the day, though. One moment here. Just have to answer a text. All right. So we are now on to the 6th inning as Basayo will swing through a pitch there for strike one on a changeup. Basayo 0 for 2 on the night so far. Has struck out already in this game. It's Tanner Bybee through 85 pitches now. Basayo will chop this one over to basically back to Bybee over left of the bag. Throws out Basayo there. So good fielding there. Good work playing the position essentially by Tanner Bybee. So Bybee, like Bassett, rough start to the game in terms of pure pitches thrown, but has settled in quite nicely. Warming in the bullpen for Cleveland is, one sec, what is your first name? As Taveras will swing through the first pitch for strike one. Connor Brogdon, who's a free agent signing from the Angels last December. This past December, I should say. He is warming in the bullpen, righty reliever. Taveras will look at a changer in the dirt and might have almost hit him. Did a weird pose, but his ball one there. So 1-1 to Leody Taveras. 1 for 2 on the night. A lot of singles so far for the Orioles. I think that's basically been all the hits so far from either team has been singles. A couple walks here and there, a couple stolen bases as well for both teams. Taveras swings through cutter there at the top of the zone for strike two. So 90 pitches coming up here for Bybee. 1-2 to Taveras. Nobody on here in the top of the 6th. Not a bad performance here from Bybee at the moment. The Orioles would certainly like to rough him up here in the 6th. Next pitch is outside for ball 2 with a cutter. So Taveras, fairly patient so far, has swung through a couple pitches, but again, does have a hit as well. And a decent count here in 2-2. He will knock this one high over into right field. That will stay in the park, and that will be out number 2 to Chase DeLauder. So looked like it might have been another cutter or maybe a curveball that Taveras probably got under just a little bit. So fly out there. Brings up Colton Cowser, who is doing well after that collision with the outfield wall earlier. But the knee seems fine enough. He's all smiles right now. Though he's 0 for 2 on the night with the strikeout. Most likely Bybee's last inning, I would assume. Cowser looks at ball 1 on a fast changeup, actually. Below the zone. It's like the changeup, just from the angle of the camera from, I guess, the batter's eye or whatever, it looks like it's just going straight, but I guess it's like a vertical drop there. There is a sweeper there that Cowser swings through for strike 1. So I think Bybee is wisely not throwing Cowser fastballs at the moment, since I think he knows that Cowser does not do well with off speed and does very well with fastballs. There is a fastball, actually, that is called... Oh, no, changeup. Okay. It's a freaking changeup that looks like a fastball. Called strike 2. I don't think Cowser swung at it, but it's just flips the bottom zone. So 94 pitches now from Bybee. One more strike would get him out of the inning. Would do 6 scoreless. Cowser could spoil that here with a swing. He will look at ball 2 on a fastball high. But either way, this is a very good performance here from Tanner Bybee. My guess is if Cowser like homers or something like that, they would probably take him out because they do have a guy warming the bullpen. And he's at 95 pitches at the moment. 2-2 to Cowser is chopped over to second base. Fielded there by the second baseman, Brito. And that is a 1-2-3 6th inning for Tanner Bybee in what is, I would have to assume, his last inning of the night. So very quick, top of the 6th. Should, I would assume, bring in Yennier Cano because, again, Bassett's at like 100 pitches. And it would be, I think it's Angel Martinez up next, right? I think it was I think it was Schneemann who was up to bat last time. So it should be Martinez, Naylor, and Brito, I believe. And they had Yennier Cano warming the bullpen, so most likely this will be a Yennier Cano appearance in the bottom of the 6th. Still scoreless. Very not a very offensively dominant type of game so far. A lot of singles and not much else. Not too many fly balls either. There's almost had the home run courtesy of Kobe Mayo, but outside of that, not much. Garrett Cole gave up a 2-run home run in the minors in his rehab start, so that's kind of funny. Their Yankees, I think, getting Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon back pretty soon to shore up their rotation, as they've hit a bit of a skid at the moment. So yeah. And I'm just looking at baseball Twitter at the moment, and everyone is rightfully singing the praise of Mason Miller, because he is on like a historic season so far as a closer. Like, it's just ridiculous how good he is at the moment, because no one can hit him. It's kind of insane. Like, I think he gave up a hit in like the 8th inning yesterday or something like that, when he was just kind of like thrown in just for fun or something. I don't know. It's just ridiculous. So 10th appearance here for Yennier Cano, 1.59 ERA in his 9 games played or pitched, 5.2 innings thrown. Nice bounce back season so far from Yennier Cano after a rough couple of, especially 2025. It was pretty bad for him. Was an all-star back in 2023. 2024 and 2025 have not been quite the same for Cano, but 2026 so far, through 9 games at least, could always change here, but through 9 games, it was pretty good so far. So it is Rhys Hoskins. For some reason, I thought he was up to bat last time, but no. Hoskins, who is 1 for 2, takes ball 1. Singled in this game. Righty on righty matchup here. Looks at ball 2 on a sinker that falls below the zone. A very horizontal type spinner. Sinker has a lot of run, like diagonal run more so. Going left to right. Has a slider that goes the other direction as well. There is a sinker that is outside the zone for ball 3. So 3 now count here to Rhys Hoskins, as Cano is thrown around the zone but not in it. No chase so far from Hoskins either. So Hoskins, Schneemann, and Martinez. I was way off on my prediction. There is ball 4 on a sinker that is a bit closer, but not close enough. So 4-pitch walk, courtesy of Yennier Cano, to start the bottom of the 6th. Not a great start there from Cano. Oh, he is a ground ball pitcher for sure. When he's on his game, he induces a lot of ground balls, so could certainly see a double play if things go well. Schneemann will look at strike 1 on a sinker that bends down into the bottom left corner. So first strike thrown by Yennier Cano tonight. Schneemann 0 for 2 on the night as well. Will swing through a splitter there, actually, for strike 2. I think that's a newer pitch that Cano has. So slightly different look there on the splitter compared to the sinker. 0-2 to Schneemann is knocked over the head of Kobe Mayo. That will be a single for Schneemann. That will be runners on first and second, nobody out here. Bring up Angel Martinez. So that was a splitter that dipped down below the zone, but good bat flip essentially there. Like flick of the bat to courtesy of Schneemann for an opposite field single. Angel Martinez up to bat, nobody out here. Runs on first and second as well. Will he square to bunt? Yes, he does. He will pop this bunt up and foul over by the third base dugout in the batter circle over there. But yeah, sack bunt, not a surprising play at all, given that nobody's out here and third base is open at the moment. And the power hitting Bo Naylor behind him. Does Martinez square to bunt again? Cano steps off instead. Chases Hoskins back to second, essentially. So the lefty Martinez working against the righty Cano on the 0-1 count here. He squares to bunt again. That is in the dirt. Barely misses him. Just barely misses him. Nearly would have been a hit by pitch. So 1-1 instead to Martinez, who will most likely square to bunt again. So infield, Alonso and Mayo are pinched in at the moment. Henderson and Jackson are back. That is also nearly hits Martinez down in the foot. So ball 2. I think Basayo is going to run out to talk with Cano. So Cano, rough start here for him tonight. Grant Wolfram warming for the Orioles in the bullpen as well. So Basayo giving a word of advice to his pitcher, who has yanked a couple pitches down in the dirt by the feet of Angel Martinez. I get, mentally you're trying to avoid giving up the sack bunt, but has thrown back-to-back balls here. So Martinez will square to bunt again. He will miss the bunt that time. That is strike 2. So now he can't square to bunt because I think the rule is that if you square to bunt with 2 strikes and you miss it, or I think even if you foul it off, they'll still count it as strike 3. And Martinez just misses it. There's a sinker there kind of high in the zone and Martinez just misses it completely. So the bunt is eliminated here. 2-2 to Martinez is swung on and missed. Strike 3 from Yennier Cano on a sinker high and away. So the mound visit there from Samuel Basayo does wonders against Martinez. Gets him out on the strikeout there. So that sinker is really well placed. Basically starts almost on the inside part of the zone, just curls all the way out. More sort of fades all the way out to the outside part of the zone. Gets Martinez swinging. Bo Naylor up to the plate. He will not square to bunt. Takes ball 1 on a splitter down and in. Again, runners on first and second. But a double play would get you out of the inning. So 1-0 to Bo Naylor, who's 0 for 2 on the night. Looks at ball 2 on a sinker low. So Guardians 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position on the night. Orioles 0 for 5. It's been not a very offensive game so far. Naylor will chop this one over to shortstop. That is fielded by Henderson. Gets the out at second, and the out at first is not in time. So that will be a fielder's choice there. Gets the runner over to third in Rhys Hoskins. Schneemann is out at second. Naylor is safe at first. So no runs score. Does get the second out, though anything past the infield now would score a run. So a slow chopper over to shortstop. Gunnar Henderson runs it all the way over to second base. Jeremiah Jackson would not have had to play at first base because he would have to pirouette completely, and Naylor is well in there, safe at first. So good work anyway. Looks like this will be a pitching substitution. So Craig Alvarez will take out Yennier Cano and sub in Grant Wolfram. So bring in a lefty. Juan Brito. We'll see if Guardians try and pinch it here. So sub out the righty reliever for a lefty reliever. So Cano gets 2, also leaves 2 on base. Orioles bullpen so far this season has been very good at stranding runners, inherited runners, I should say. But again, Guardians, very good team so far. Very pesky team, as I have said a lot, but it's just kind of Guardians baseball is how they like to play. They're not always the flashiest team, but they just are really annoying to put away. And this is kind of their territory at the moment, is just getting guys through when you really don't want them to. So we'll see what happens here. But all right, let's see. Let's quickly check the scoreboard. Anything changed? Nope, nope, nope. Nationals up to 3 runs now, so they've got 2 more. That was a, what is your first name? Dalen Lyle, 2-run home run. Yankees up 2-0 against the Royals at the moment. That was courtesy of a Ben Rice 2-run home run. And other than that, no changes in any other scores. And hopefully that will stay the same by the time we get to the 7th inning. So Grant Wolfram in, 8 games played so far, 8 total innings as well, 3.38 ERA. Got off to a good start. I think his last outing against the Diamondbacks was not as good, but only needs to get 1 out at the moment. So this is a very, very interesting matchup. And Juan Brito remains in the game. He's a switch hitter, so he will now bat righty. 0 for 2 on the night at the moment, though we'll look to drive in a run here for the Guardians. Lefty Wolfram, switch hitter righty now. Brito. First pitch is in there for strike 1 with sinker. Bottom right corner. 96-mile-an-hour sinker there for Grant Wolfram, who I believe made his debut for the Orioles last year. I've seen some higher leverage spots here so far this season. And a good count at the moment. Brito will swing through a curveball there for strike 2. So quick 0-2 count here for Brito, working against Wolfram. Some nice 2 pitches for Wolfram at the moment, but anything could change here. Third pitch from Wolfram is just barely clipped foul. Brito just gets a piece of it, stays alive. Curveball down and away is what it was. So, Major League rookie Juan Brito in a very key spot here for the Guardians tonight. 0-2 count at the moment. Next pitch from Wolfram is chopped foul as well. Or pop foul, not chopped. Pop foul behind home plate. So we will go again. So Rhys Hoskins at third, Bo Naylor at first. Second base empty, so no force out. So 0-2 count again from Wolfram to Brito is swung on and missed in the dirt. Basayo completes the out at first base. That is a nice bit of work from Wolfram to keep this game scoreless. As we move on to the 7th, Brito goes swinging at a curveball in the dirt. And we roll on here as Guardians strand a pair. We'll get a pitching substitution for the Guardians. Who was warming in the bullpen was Connor Brogdon. Don't know if it's going to be him or someone else. Don't know if Stephen Vogt changed his mind. But we'll see what happens. We shall see. Let's see. What else can I talk about? Oh, yeah. The Street Fighter trailer for the movie dropped, I guess, 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago. It looks as campy as it should be. It definitely looks like it's going to be a not necessarily so bad it's a good movie. Like, it's not going to be, 80% on Rotten Tomatoes or anything like that. It's probably going to be like a 40%. But I think it looks fun. It's like they're not shying away from the slightly the supernatural, super heroic aspect of it, where it's not just quote unquote realistic. Like it's like Ryu's firing a Hadouken, Zangief's launching 30 feet in the air when he's doing the suplex or whatever it is. It's it's like that. I cannot take Cody Rhodes seriously as Guile. I'm sorry. I know Cody Rhodes too much from his time as a wrestler, more so in AEW rather than WWE. So I can't take him seriously as Guile. I'm sure he's gonna be fine, but it's just I see him and I just think Cody Rhodes more so than Guile. I feel like we didn't see too much of Roman Reigns as Akuma, which I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I don't mind that casting too much. I don't know how good Roman Reigns is as an actor, but I don't mind that casting as much. I'm the Cammy situation in the sense of Cammy is way too looking like Harley Quinn, personality wise. I don't really like that at the moment because she shouldn't be like that, but we'll see what happens. Hunter Gaddis is actually up instead, so they faked me out with the Connor Brogdon warming up. So I got to quickly pull up Hunter Gaddis. I feel like he was on the Astros at one point, but I could be completely wrong. He was... Ooh, hang on. Can you go away, please? Never mind. He was just drafted by Cleveland back in the 5th round of 2019. So he's been on Cleveland the whole time. Going up against Kobe Mayo, who is 1-for-1 with a walk. Takes strike one on a slider down low. Gaddis throws slider, four-seam, and changeup, according to Baseball Savant. So StatCast as well. Does not throw the changeup at all to righties. There is a slider for strike two in there. Throws mostly the slider. Like pretty much slider about 2/3 of the percent of the time. Four-seamer a third of the time. And then occasionally a changeup to lefties. 0-2 to Mayo here is swung on a miss. Strike three on a slider. I think that was 3 straight sliders to Kobe Mayo. Gets him. Looks at the first two, swings the third one, does not make contact. That is out number one for Hunter Gaddis. So both starting pitchers go, well, Bassett goes 5, Bybee goes 6. Both give up 4 hits, no runs though. 4 walks given up by Bassett, 3 for Bybee, 2 strikeouts for Bassett, 5 for Bybee. So a lot of pitches thrown, no runs given up so far by either team. Jeremiah Jackson, up to bat, swings through a fastball for strike one. So, power throwing right-handed reliever for Cleveland. Does not have much so far on his Baseball Savant page. So only pitched in 1 game so far, I guess, this season. Might have come back from injuries, my guess then. Throws a slider there, gets Jackson swinging for strike 2. So, very dominant first 5 pitches for Hunter Gaddis. All strikes so far, no contact at all. Jackson will check swing. Does he go around? Yes, he does. So an immaculate first 2 batters from Hunter Gaddis. There's a slider down and away. Jackson could not hold up his swing. Yep, that does go around. Not by much, but he does go around. So that will bring up Gunnar Henderson, who's 0 for 3 on the day. Lefty here, so could see a changeup. Next pitch is swung on and missed. Slider for strike 1, so that is 7 straight strikes. 2 strikes away from an immaculate inning. So next pitch, 8th pitch to Gunnar Henderson is outside for ball 1. There goes the immaculate inning. Slider that Gunnar Henderson does not go after. Just barely missed, but does miss. So no potential history here in this for Hunter Gaddis, I should say, in the immaculate inning there. There is a ball in the dirt for ball 2. Slider that just gets spiked. That was something that he probably doesn't want to throw again because that was not a competitive pitch. So favorable count here for Gunnar Henderson, who's looking to get on base for the first time tonight. He will swing through a slider there in the dirt for strike 2. Henderson has not had a very good night at the plate so far. Gaddis has not really thrown any fastballs so far tonight. Been mostly sliders. Henderson will knock this slider up and away. Got under it, got a lot of it, just foul. Was not a strike, but Henderson swung at it. Made contact at least, so he stays alive. So Gaddis shakes off a couple pitches there. 6th pitch to Henderson in the 2-2 count here is chopped foul. Nope, strikeout. Never mind. Henderson throws his bat. Thought I heard him make contact, but it was instead a strikeout below the zone. Henderson slams his helmet as well. He is frustrated with himself, and he should be, honestly. So that is a 1-2-3 7th inning for Hunter Gaddis. So we move on to the bottom of the 7th. My guess is Grant Wolfram will remain out there, but I don't know. Maybe Alvarez throws in another reliever because the bullpen is pretty well rested at the moment. And my guess is we'll see Rico Garcia and Ryan Helsley unless the Orioles give up a lot of runs, so I don't want to jinx it. I'm going to knock on wood real quick. I hope we see Rico Garcia and Ryan Helsley. That would be cool, because that would mean the Orioles are in a position to either win or send it to extras. So let's hope for that. Let's hope for that. But for now, though, the Orioles need to figure out how to, well, get on base and then score a run, because it's still 0-0. It's just it's one of those games, you know. It's a pitcher's duel, good old fashioned pitcher's duel. So it's not exactly the most interesting game to call, I feel like, from a broadcasting standpoint. But you know, there's been some action, I feel like, here and there. All right, scoreboard wise, Tigers, Red Sox still 0-0. Braves still up 7-0 over the Phillies. Rays and Pirates now tied 1 apiece. Rays got a Junior Caminero RBI single over there in the 6th inning. Giants Nationals still 8-3. Yankees still up 2-0 over the Royals. Brewers up 3-0 now against the Marlins. That was now it's 3-1 actually. Owen Casey literally just hit a sac fly as I was looking it up. So let's see. Mitchell, what is your first name? Garrett Mitchell got an RBI single. Then what is your Greg Jones scored an RBI fielder's choice. And then Luis Rengifo scored on a throwing error by the catcher for the Miami Marlins. That made it 3-0. Then Owen Casey hit a sac fly and make it 3-1. Grant Wolfram throws strike 1 to Stephen Kwan. And all right, Reds Twins also got started. They're 0-0. Cardinals Astros also got started. Cardinals up 1-0 at the moment. A Jordan Walker RBI single. He's off to an amazing start. There's strike 2 from Wolfram to Kwan on a fastball. Sinker, but you know, fastball. But yeah, Jordan Walker is like the best hitter in baseball right now. It's kind of crazy. So quick 0-2 to Stephen Kwan at the moment from Grant Wolfram, who stays in. 8th pitch now is outside for ball 1 on a sweeper. So obviously keep Wolfram in against Kwan and DeLauder since they're both lefties. Anthony Nunez warming as well, so he's another high leverage reliever for the Orioles. Here in the bottom of the 7th, Wolfram will induce a ground ball over to Jeremiah Jackson. Jeremiah Jackson bobbles it out of his glove. That is an error on Jeremiah Jackson. Gets Kwan over to first base. Would have been an easy ground out instead, but it is reach on an error. I mean, I don't know how fast Kwan was going to get there, but I mean, it was a clean field by Jeremiah Jackson on a sharp liner. Like sharp ground ball, and like he has it in his glove, and it's the transfer that gets away from him. So error on Jeremiah Jackson. That is an E4. Kwan reaches at first base, brings up Chase DeLauder, who was 0 for 2 with a walk. We get a pitch timer violation on Grant Wolfram as well, which is, I feel like we don't see too many pitch timer violations anymore, like period, which is kind of neat. But it is quick. 1-0 count without throwing a pitch from Wolfram to DeLauder. First pitch actually thrown is lined over, and that is a fair ball from Chase DeLauder over to left field side. Ward will play it. That will bring Kwan over to third. So runners at second and third, nobody out. And that will probably be it for Grant Wolfram, I would assume. I would have to assume. Good work from Taylor Ward to at least hold Kwan at third, but runners at second and third, nobody out. Bringing up Jose Ramirez as well, so that is the exact guy you want to bring up, but a nice opposite field double there for Chase DeLauder. Not Louder, Lauder. And Wolfram's actually going to stay in against Ramirez. I guess because you want your lefty pitcher against righty hitter, or no? You want the lefty-lefty matchups. Never mind. It's the intentionally walk Jose Ramirez. That's what happened. It was actually pretty smart there. So it is Kyle Manzardo up, who's a lefty as well. So first pitch to Manzardo is chopped foul. So very, very big moment here in the game. Bases loaded, nobody out. Kyle Manzardo, who is 1 for 3 on the night, singled in the first inning. Orioles bullpen's going to need to pull a rabbit out of their hat here in the 7th to keep this game scoreless. 0-1-2 Manzardo is knocked foul over behind third base, well into the stands. So career with bases loaded for Kyle Manzardo, 211, 4 for 19 with 6 RBIs. Does not have a grand slam. I am really hoping that he does not have his first grand slam here. That would suck. He's in an 0-2 hole at the moment, is Manzardo. Next pitch from Wolfram will be his 13th also. It is swung on a miss. Strike 3 on a sweeper that is well outside. Manzardo goes fishing. That is out number 1. Very crucial there because that now does mean a double play would get the Orioles out of the inning. That will be Wolfram's last batter. We'll get Anthony Nunez. So Albert has given him a good clap there after getting the strikeout. So Anthony Nunez, who was a recipient of the Cedric Mullins deal back at the trade deadline last year, will come in and pitch for the Orioles against Daniel Schneemann, provided the Guardians do not pinch it. I don't think they will. But this is huge moment in the game now. After an error on Jeremiah Jackson, then a double by Chase DeLauder, then intentional walk, then a strikeout. That is how this inning has gone so far. So, all right, let's see. I was literally just on the scoreboard, so I don't really need to look at it, but I'm going to look at it anyway, just for fun. Come on, Royals. Go beat the Yankees. That'd be cool. Oh yeah, what are the games that are playing after this? So yeah, the Cardinals and the Astros just started, and then the other one was the Reds and the Twins. The Dodgers and the Rockies are going to play later at 8:40, so in about 12 minutes. The Padres and the Angels, they're playing at 9:30, 9:38 to be specific. White Sox and Athletics at 9:40. Rangers and Mariners also at 9:40. And then Blue Jays and Diamondbacks also at 9:40. So a lot of West Coast games going on at the moment as well. Or, well, will be starting in a moment. So that should be nice, for the West Coast guys. That should be a nice little slate there for them. For now, though, Orioles need some help from their bullpen to keep this game scoreless. Anthony Nunez up. So Nunez, 8 games played, 1.04 ERA, 8.2 innings pitched. Opponent's batting average just 129. Though you really got to hope that he gets a couple swings and misses here, or a ground ball double play, because this is a very dangerous situation. Brings up Rhys Hoskins, who walked the last time he was up. Does also have a hit on the night. Does Rhys Hoskins. So righty on righty matchup here. First pitch from Nunez to Hoskins is outside for ball 1 on a sweeper. That is his primary pitch against righties, is Anthony Nunez's sweeper. Certainly love a double play here. Next pitch is swung and a miss. Strike 1 on a sinker. So Nunez, who's off to a really nice start, throws sweeper, changeup, four-seamer, slider, or sinker and cutter. Mostly throws that sweeper and sinker. 1-1 to Hoskins is chopped foul behind home plate on a changeup that he 5% throws so far to righties. That is a pitch he mostly throws to lefties, according to Baseball Savant. So that was a surprise there. Hoskins probably was not expecting that. Does get a strike there. So 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on the sweeper against Hoskins. So that is 2 down now on strikeouts. Still, again, bases loaded, so they're not out of the inning whatsoever, but that is a huge strikeout. Now gets the force out anywhere will end the inning. That will bring up Daniel Schneemann. I was getting off by one there, one batter. So Schneemann, the lefty, will swing through a fastball. It's going to go like four-seamer and then just kind of blend it in. The fastball for strike 1. Four-seamer above the zone. Schneemann singled his last time he was up, 1 for 3 on the night. 0-1 count here as Nunez throws a 6 pitch. It will be knocked high over in the air. That will be a grand slam. It's going so well, and then it wasn't. Changed in just a moment. That is 4-0 Guardians here, as that feels like it's game, pretty much, with how the Orioles have been batting. Schneemann knocks a fastball out into right field. That was, yep, that does it. This game's over. Orioles are not coming back from this. They have not hit at all tonight and needed the bullpen to clutch up, and that was a fastball, top of the zone, and Schneemann just knocks it out of there. So all 3 of those runs are going to get charged to Wolfram. No, I'm not sure how many of those. I guess only 2 of those are going to be earned, I think. Doesn't really matter, though. It's still 4-0. Ball 1 to Angel Martinez. And Nunez, who'd been so good so far, gives up the grand slam. That sucks. And Martinez knocked this one out into deep center field, but Taveras has room enough, and that ends the inning, but 1 batter too late. Cleveland breaks the scoring open, 4-0 here as we move on to the top of the 8th inning. So Orioles need to figure out something in their bag of tricks to avoid embarrassment here, as they've gotten nothing going for them so far. And suddenly now down 4. Come on, man. I just want to watch another win. Haven't watched one in like 4 weeks now. Ugh. That sucks. So I don't know what's going on with the offense for the Orioles as of late. They just have not been as advertised. All right, well, let's see. Let's see. Anything happening on the Twitterverse? Not really. It's like, it's going so well. And then you give up the frickin' grand slam. I'm not even sure who's up to bat for the Orioles at this point. I think it's Taylor Ward. Yeah, because Doug Henderson struck out, I think. And it was 2 outs too, was the worst part. Momentum was swinging on their side. They give up first 3 runners, and then it's strikeout, and then it was grand slam. Ugh. Yeah, Taylor Ward up. Armstrong's the new pitcher for Cleveland. Takes ball 1. I don't know your first name, Armstrong. Sean Armstrong. It's a free agent signing from the Texas Rangers back in December. Throws strike 1, that was above, but Ward does not challenge. Again, Orioles just down to 1 challenge at the moment. So Sean Armstrong. 1-1-2 Ward is down and away for ball 2. So 4-seamer, sweeper, sinker, and cutter. He mostly throws the sweeper and sinker to righties. Mostly throws the 4-seamer and cutter to lefties. 2-1 to Ward here is down low for ball 3. There was a 4-seamer. Does throw a 4-seamer third of the time to righties. So mostly 3 pitches against righties. I guess 20% of the time, there is ball 4. So Taylor Ward takes a walk, 5-pitch walk. Another fastball low. So, baby steps. Baby steps for the O's there. Brings up Pete Alonso, who does have 2 hits in this game, 2 singles. Orioles did score 2 runs in the 9th inning yesterday, at least. Alonso will look at strike 1 on a sinker in the zone. Albert Suarez warming in the bullpen for the Orioles, since at the moment there is no need for their closer or their setup man. Alonso will look at ball 1 on a sweeper just inside. So patient so far between Ward and Alonso against Sean Armstrong. The veteran Sean Armstrong. 388th inning or game, I think is what it said. Oh, actually, it's going to hit Alonso over on the elbow pad, so that will painfully get Alonso his 3rd base of the game. Kevin Brown saying is, I think the catcher or home plate umpire was checking to see if there was a swing from Pete Alonso as he got hit, and the first base umpire didn't even give him an answer because there's clips his elbow pad. Alonso does not swing at all. There's no swing there. It hits him. Well, actually, hits him like the back elbow. Actually, I think it missed his front elbow guard. Yeah, it hits him in the unprotected back arm. So hopefully, that's his right arm as well. So hopefully, Alonso's gonna be okay. Get a quick mound visit here. Alonso's staying in the game, so it's probably not. It grazed him. It wasn't like a full-on hit, which is, good. Don't want to see Alonso get injured. That would be very bad. So Dylan Beavers, who walked in the first inning, has lined out and struck out after that. But in a pretty favorable spot here for the Orioles at the moment, though they have struggled mightily with runners in scoring position. Do not have a hit, I believe, with runners in scoring position tonight. Could certainly like one here. Beavers looks at a fastball high and away for ball 1. Armstrong's not shown very much control so far, or command either. Just has not thrown very many pitches that are good. 1-0 to Beavers is outside for ball 2. Another fastball. So Cleveland suddenly getting a little shaky at the moment. Only 2 strikes from Sean Armstrong so far. So the 2-0 to Beavers is inside for ball 3 on a sinker. So Sean Armstrong struggling mightily to find the strike zone. Eric Sabrowski warming in the bullpen for Cleveland. There is strike 1 on a fastball in there. Beavers does not swing. So 3-1, still a very favorable count for Beavers. Basayo on deck. Beavers on the 3-1. We'll see if he actually tries to swing here. He will not. Takes ball 4 low. So the bases are suddenly loaded here for Samuel Basayo. A grand slam could tie it. Orioles have not swung their bat at all. They've just taken all the way, and that has been 2 walks and a hit by pitch. We'll get a pitching substitution here from Stephen Vogt as Sean Armstrong loads the bases. Eric Sabrowski will be coming in, the lefty, going up against the lefty Basayo. I don't think there's no chance Albie's going to pinch hit Basayo, but we'll see how this goes. So suddenly, the Orioles have a chance. They have a chance. So Sabrowski was a Rule 5 pick from over the, I guess selected in the Rule 5 draft from AAA on the Padres AAA roster. Was brought over from there to the Guardians back in 2021 in December. Has only played in the bigs for a little over a year. So I got to quickly move off of Sean Armstrong's Savant page to Eric Sabrowski. So Sobrowski throws. Ooh, he's got some good Savant Page stuff at the moment, so that's not good for the Orioles. Throws a four-seamer, curveball, and slider. Mostly four-seamer. Throws that slider a decent bit to lefties, but again, mostly four-seamer. Throws the cutter a little bit. So is going to, let's see, throws it 94, 95. I guess more, yeah, 94 average. So we'll see. This is, hold on to your hats, folks. This could get interesting, to say the least. I don't know. Maybe I need more. Maybe I need to be more pessimistic, and Basayo will hit a home run. That would be cool. So 10 games, 2 ERA flat, 9 innings pitched. Batter's only hitting 129 on the season, though. 14.0 strikeouts per 9, which is pretty good. 3.0 walks per 9. Jonathan Rodriguez is actually going to pinch hit for Samuel Basayo, so the righty Rodriguez. My guess is they're going to take him out for Sam Huff after this, since Basayo is catching, obviously. Rodriguez on the first pitch lines it over to left field. That is caught by DeLauder, but that will bring in a run. So sac fly there brings in the first run for the Orioles. So better than nothing. Does get the first out, but does get the first run. So better than just an out. It is a run. I will certainly take that. So Leody Taveras now represents the tying run. Opens up the scoring for the Orioles here in the top of the 8th. Leody Taveras is 1 for 3 on the night. Singled in the second inning. Has fouled out, or flied out. I'll go flied out twice since. Taveras looks at the first pitch inside for ball 1 on a fastball there. So my guess is Cowser might get pinch hit for, since he's a lefty, unless we get a double play here. Taveras will look at ball 2 in the dirt. Since Taveras is a righty, Rodriguez was a righty, Sobrowski has to face 3 batters, unless he gets out of the inning here. And Cowser does not do well against lefties, I don't think. So potentially he gets pinch hit here, unless we get a double play. Next pitch is swung on and missed on a fastball just above the zone from Taveras. So 2-1 count here. Just the second swing from the Orioles all inning. First swing was that sac fly from Jonathan Rodriguez. So still a favorable count here for Taveras. Again, does have a hit in the game. He will knock this one high up in the air and foul on a fastball. Been all fastballs so far from Sobrowski, which was kind of to be expected. Weston Wilson is on deck. So, yep, pinch hit is planned. Not surprising there either, as Weston Wilson is a righty. So 2-2 to Taveras from Sobrowski is down in the dirt. Not quite in the dirt, actually, but down below the zone on a fastball for ball 3. So full count here. Walk would load the bases again. So Blaze Alexander and Sam Huff also on the bench. Sam Huff is most likely going to come in after this inning is over to catch. We get time called by Leody Taveras. So Beavers and Alonso on first and second. Second and first. Yeah, first and second. Beavers on first. Alonso's on second. 3-2 to Taveras is knocked high and foul. So we go again. It's a very tense moment here in Cleveland for both teams. All fastballs so far from Sobrowski to Taveras. Next pitch is down below for called strike 3. Taveras is going to challenge. He's going to win this challenge. This was well below zone for ball 4. Called strike 3. This is getting overturned. And yep, ball 4. So bases loaded for Weston Wilson, who just got called up a few days ago. Made a pretty costly error, not called an error, but costly error against Arizona back on Wednesday. So we get a pitching coach visit here for the Guardians as bases are loaded once more. Sobrowski has basically thrown all fastballs so far, given up a sac fly, and now issued a walk. And yeah, that is ABS in action right there, because I would be fuming if there was no ABS and that pitch, it's over an inch below the zone, like nowhere close to being a strike. It's called a strike, and it would have been a strikeout. It flips the strikeout into a walk, loads the bases. It's huge, absolutely huge. Gotta love ABS for that. So Weston Wilson, pinch hitter for Colton Cowser. So far in AAA, hitting 195, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. Don't think he was one of their young draft picks. I actually don't remember too much how Weston Wilson got here for the Orioles. Was a waiver claim off of Philadelphia back in January. So yeah, definitely not a not one of the young guys they drafted. Kind of has come up because of the Tyler O'Neill injury. He will look at the first pitch. That's a strike at the bottom of the zone with a fastball. So still 1 out in the inning. Double play would end it. Anything past the outfield will get at least 1 run, even if it's just a sac fly. Just got to get it past the infield, essentially. There is a curveball, first non-fastball of the inning for Sobrowski. It is high for ball 1. So it's all righties against Sobrowski at the moment. Kobe Mayo is on deck, though my guess is if Wilson is able to reach, Sobrowski gets taken out. Wilson will knock this one high over into left field. That will be off the wall. That is going to drive in at least 1, most likely 2. That will get Weston Wilson safe at second. 2 RBI double gets this 4-3. Orioles suddenly back in this game, still 1 out. Kobe Mayo up to bat. Nice hit there from Weston Wilson. Makes this game suddenly close again. Tavares holds at third. Weston Wilson safe at second. There we go. Weston Wilson knocks a fastball over to the left field wall. Little bit more. That was pretty close to being a home run. Probably a couple more feet above that would have been a homer, but instead it is a 2 RBI double. So Orioles still down by a run, but they are well back within this game. Sobrowski still into pitch, surprisingly enough, against the righty Kobe Mayo. Throws ball 1 to him high. 110 off the bat of Weston Wilson on that RBI double. Mayo looks at ball 2 on a slider below the zone. So 2-0 to Mayo here will be chopped foul. I just took a sip of water and went down the wrong tube, so that's why I paused there. But it was hardest hit ball of Weston Wilson's career. Oh, hang on, let me do that. There we go. So Mayo, in a 2-1 count here, could get the Orioles lead with a hit. He will chop this one foul again. So 2 strike count for Mayo. 1 for 2 on the day with a walk, I believe. Right? He walked, right? Yeah, he walked. Has also struck out. Nearly had a home run early in the game. So Orioles have stormed back here in the top of the 8th. Runners on second and third, 1 out. Mayo in the 2-2 will look at ball 3. Gets inside, well inside. So that is full count now. Jeremiah Jackson on deck. So 17th pitch for Sobrowski here. Has thrown a lot more breaking balls now as of late. 3-2 to Mayo is swing and a miss. Strike 3 well outside on the fastball. Mayo goes chasing. That was not a good decision there. It was certainly ball 4. So that's strikeout there for Sobrowski and out number 2. They are not out of the inning yet. That was nowhere. That was like halfway into the left fielder's batter, or left-handed hitter's batting box, essentially. That is also the last batter for Eric Sobrowski, who has kind of allowed the Orioles to get back out in this game. We get a pitching substitution here. Not sure who they're bringing in. Let me see if I scroll down. No, it does not say yet. So we'll see who it is, because I don't know who the... I don't know if this is a closer or setup man for the Guardians also. But we'll see who it is. So, all right. With a slight reprieve. Let's go check the scoreboard for other games. Now that it is after the little rally. The Tigers and Red Sox are still 0-0 in the bottom of the 7th. Braves up 8-0 against the Phillies in the middle of the 8th. That was a Josh Harris. What is your first name? Michael Harris, right? Yeah, Michael Harris, the second solo home run. Pirates up 3-1 over the Rays now. Yeah, Pirates are up 3-1 over the Pirates. O'Neal Cruz 2-run home run. Scored Connor Griffin as well. They're in the 6th. They are now in the bottom of the 7th. Giants up 9-5 over the Nationals. So that is a very offensive type of game. Very high scoring game. Is your first name Jeremy? Jose Tena got an RBI single to make it 8-4. Then Casey Schmidt had a solo home run to make it 9-4. And then James Wood had a solo home run to make it 9-5. Royals got one back against the Yankees, so it is 2-1 there. Vinny Pasquantino got an RBI ground out. It actually scored. I guess Bobby Wood Jr. didn't score, but it was Connor Brogdon's in now. Interesting. So 7 games pitched, 6.43 ERA through 7 innings. But there was a stat for a while where it was Bobby Witt Jr. reached base 39 times and never scored so far in the season or something like that. It was ridiculous. It's kind of crazy. So Jeremiah Jackson, the hero, back on Monday. 0 for 3 on, so far on the day. Connor Brogdon throws ball 1 on a fastball up and in. I can actually go back a couple pages to go to his Baseball Savant page. Throws a 4-seamer changeup and cutter. Jackson will knock this one high over into the air. Will that get out? Yes, it will! Jeremiah Jackson, 3-run home run. Flips this game completely on its head. Orioles up 6-4 here in the 8th. Wow! Holy crap. Jackson goes, that ball was below the zone of goal. That was a fastball below the zone. Jackson just scoops that up into left field. 6-4, 6-run 8th inning for the Orioles after giving up 4 in the 7th. Oh my goodness. Jeremiah Jackson, the 2-out king, having a week of weeks at the moment. So after getting blanked for the first 7, Orioles put up 6th here in the 8th. Completely flipped this game on the head. I don't think we're going to see Albert Suarez pitch anymore. We'll probably see Rico Garcia and Ryan Helsley now. As Gunnar Henderson takes ball 1. He's suddenly up to bat now. He will knock this one foul. So this game, after having no offense for so long, has now seen 10 runs in the span of an inning, pretty much, between the bottom of the 7th and top of the 8th. And this inning's not even over yet. Gunnar Henderson will look at ball 2 as Connor Brogdon spikes that changeup. So Orioles have almost batted around the order as well. It was Taylor Ward to start the inning. This is 9th batter of the inning here. Orioles really needed that, as they've just had some bad luck over the past couple of games. Henderson looks at ball 3 there. And suddenly the Orioles are back in business and now with the lead. First time they've led in Cleveland all series. Henderson swings through ball 4 there on a cutter for strike 2 instead. So full count here for Gunnar Henderson, who's 0 for 4 on the night with a couple strikeouts. So Jeremiah Jackson out on the 9 hole, 0 for 3 on the night, knocks a 3-run homer with 2 outs. Gunnar Henderson will fist this one over into shallow left field. Will that get down? No, it will not. Caught by Jose Ramirez, so that will end the inning. But not before the Orioles score 6 unanswered in the 1 inning. Jeremiah Jackson knocking 3 of them to give the Orioles the lead. 6 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, 7 left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. I'm going to assume it's Rico Garcia who's going to pitch as the setup man. That's my guess. I mean, maybe they just throw Anthony Nunez back out there. I don't know. But my guess is Rico Garcia. That, if I were a betting man, that's who I'd bet on. I mean, maybe they throw Albert Suarez up, but he's not really a setup guy. It's obviously, if the score holds, it's Ryan Helsley in the 9th, since he's the Orioles closer. But Rico Garcia, who's been I don't want to jinx him if he goes out, but I guess he's pitched in 9 innings so far, and he has thrown a no-hitter through those 9 innings in the course of his appearances. So a very good start for Rico Garcia. We'll see if he gets the 8th here, but wow. I guess I should be more pessimistic from now on, because I was not expecting the Orioles to rally there. Not gonna lie, but they did. They did, and they completely turned it around. And yeah, that was just insane. So, yeah, suddenly this game has completely flipped. That is crazy. Outside of that, Brewers are up 4-3 over the Marlins, so I guess Marlins rally back a little bit. Luis Rengifo got an RBI double to make it 4-1, but then Otto Lopez got a 2-run home run to make it 4-3 there. Otherwise, Rockies up 1-0 already against the the Dodgers already up 1-0 against the Rockies. Will Smith got a sac fly, so yeah, that's not super surprising there. I mean, the Rockies, they did sweep the Astros at least, but they are 7-12 at the moment. But it's like, I think they're like one of the lowest in the league at the moment in terms of record wise. But even then, yes, White Sox are lowest at 6-13. But even then, it's like 6-13. It's not like the worst in the world, I feel like. I mean, the White Sox are going to stay down there, but still. Anyway, we're up to the bottom of the 8th, and it is, in fact, Rico Garcia. Bo Naylor up to bat here. First pitch is fouled away on a fastball there from Rico. So Rico Garcia has not given up a hit so far. Let's hope that continues, but, you know, I'll be pessimistic. He's going to give up a hit. Throws ball. That's called strike 1. No challenge interesting from Bo Naylor. That pitch was well below the zone. Yeah, 9 games, no ERA, 9 innings, .33 whip. Opponent's average is solid 0 through 9 games pitched. Naylor will knock this one, and caught on the line by Jeremiah Jackson. Saves the first hit, surrendered by Rico Garcia. It's funny, his chase percent is solid 3 rating on Baseball Savant. Like, he does not get very many chases. He just does not give up hits so far. It's kind of crazy. There's a 4-seamer, slider, changeup, and curve, and is just, for whatever reason, he's been pitching lights out so far through 9 1/3 innings of his 2026 season in relief. See if Juan Brito will break that up, or if it will continue. 0-for-3 on the night. Swings through a pitch, strike once. There's actually a swing and a miss right there, just as I was pointing out that stat. Fastball below the zone. Brito goes fishing. Struck out last time he was up. So next pitch is swung and missed on another fastball. So 2 straight swings and misses after I bring up that stat. Only baseball. Only baseball. So 0-2 here to Brito. I'd be shocked if he gets a strikeout here on a swing and miss. Nope. Instead is a foul ball on a fastball high up behind the plate. And it should be... yeah, so Sam Huff also replaced Jonathan Rodriguez, so he's catching at the moment. So it's kind of forgotten in that whole big rally is that Basayo got pinch hit for, so it is Sam Huff now behind the plate. Again, Adley Rutschman is on the injured list at the moment. Brito will chop this one back to Garcia. What a jump from Garcia. Makes the catch. That was impressive because Garcia is not a very tall guy. Makes a leaping catch on the chopper over his head. Tosses it over to Alonso for out number 2. So that was very well done there from Rico Garcia. So that is out number 2 there for Rico. We'll bring up Stephen Kwan. This is another... It's got it hard to get out. 1-for-3 on the night with a walk as well. There is ball 1 on a curveball just outside. Kwan reached on an error last time he was up to start that 4-run 7th inning for the Guardians. Hopefully, if it goes to Jeremiah Jackson, he can put him out this time. There's another curveball outside. So good count here for Kwan. Again, Garcia does not usually induce chases. So if he does surrender it or get contact, it's probably a grounder. There's strike one on a changeup high. Kwan does not swing at it. I think Garcia is tied right now with Yennier Cano from back in 2023 for the longest, I guess, hitless streak out of the bullpen, I'm assuming is what they're putting up the graphic for. Kwan will knock this one foul on a fastball in the middle of the plate. 97 from Rico. So he's adding a bit of extra juice there. And he's one strike away from getting out of the inning. But again, does not induce too many swings and misses. Just induces a lot of ground balls. We'll see what happens here, though. Again, Kwan really hard to get out. 2-2 here is chopped over. Back to Rico Garcia. He off his glove. Will he throw it to first in time? And no. There is the first hit. Alonso gets pulled off the bag slightly as Garcia mishandles the initial bobble. The call is safe. We'll see if we get a manager's challenge. Albernaz will challenge. And it was really close. It was really close. Alonso, he gets pulled off the bag is the problem because the throw beats out Kwan. Is Alonso still on the bag? He is actually. That should get overturned, I think. It's if Alonso's shoe is still on the bag, it will be really close. The call on the field is safe, so you need to have clear and it's like clear and obvious proof, I think is what it is, whatever they call it. But it needs to be clear and obvious or whatever it is. But this is very close. It looked like from the view from like midfield or like center field that Alonso's foot was still on the bag, but that does not give you very good depth perception on it. But the throw was certainly there. Like it's just a question of if Alonso's foot was still on the bag. Otherwise, it would be an infield hit, and the first hit surrendered by Rico Garcia all season. Should have probably had it on that initial stop by the glove, but instead it was not. But he still gave it a really good shot at it, and it's just really hard to tell if Alonso's foot is on the bag. I mean, obviously, as a homer, like an Orioles fan, I say his foot is on the bag, but it's so hard to tell just from the angles that they have if his foot is on. It looks like it's on. The throw is certainly there. The call is overturned. The runner's out. Let's go. Let's go. Rico Garcia pitches a 1-2-3 eighth inning. Call is overturned. I guess they ruled that Alonso's foot was on the bag. Definitely looked like it was. And the Orioles take the lead into the bottom of the, or no, I guess the top of the ninth, actually. That was bottom of the eighth. So Rico Garcia, new score, keeps his hitless streak alive. And we move on to the ninth. So it'll be the same leadoff order as the eighth. Taylor Ward, Pete Alonso, Dylan Beavers. And certainly wouldn't mind some more insurance runs. But 2 runs is, so far, has proven plenty for Ryan Helsley, who's off to a very nice start for the Orioles. But obviously, that could all change with one bad outing. But for now, I gotta love Rico Garcia is so good, man. Just out of nowhere, too. Trent Grisham with a solid error in the outfield. That's always fun to see. So this game certainly turned on a dime. That was kind of crazy. And yeah, Jeremiah Jackson with the Earl Weaver special. 3-run home run. It would be really crazy if the Orioles just do that again this inning. Jeremiah Jackson would have to bat 8th again. Well, he's batting 8th essentially, but it's, yeah. But that is, what a game. Absolute pitcher's duel. Despite the amount of hits and walks they were giving up beforehand. Also, holy crap. Why did you score 51 points with my opponent in fantasy? Can you not do that, please? Okay. I think it's like both my starting pitchers are pitching late in the day. That's why they're not there. Anyway. Sorry about that. Got stressed. I was like, he was at like 51 points earlier, and now he's 105. All right. Anyway, what was I even talking about? Oh yeah, Jeremiah Jackson. It's like, anyway. Taylor Ward takes strike 1 from Brogdon, who is still in the pitch. Gave up that 3-run home run. Anyway, Recenter myself. We're back in the game, top of the ninth. Ward 0-1 count here at the moment. Looks at ball one on a changeup below. Again, Orioles can certainly put up more runs here. After, oh yeah, that's what it was. It was like Bybee and Bassett who started this game. Again, they both threw like 100 pitches pretty much. Went through 5 and 6 innings respectively. Gave up no runs. Very odd so far. Ward looks at ball two on a changeup low as well. And it's like, it was a pitcher's duel. And the bullpens, Orioles got into trouble in the 7th, but it looked like they were cruising with Anthony Nunez. And they give the grand slam. And then the same thing happens to Cleveland in the top of the 8th. They suddenly run into traffic and don't get out of it. Ward fouled that one off, so it's 2-2. And so, yeah, it's suddenly it's 6-4. Ryan Helsley is quite obviously warming in the bullpen for the Orioles. So unless they put up another 6 spot here, we'll see Helsley. Ward will swing through a fastball for strike 3. So Ward does not reach in this inning like he did last inning. That will bring up Pete Alonso, who got hit in the elbow last time he was up. So hopefully, I'm sure he's hoping to reach base in a less painful way this time. Wouldn't mind a polar bear home run here to, really make this game out of reach for the guards. Alonso will get ball one on a cutter down low. Hi, they're talking about Emmanuel Clase, who was normally the Guardians closer for a while, but he is... It did not do a very good job of disguising the fact that he was betting on games. Alonso will knock this one high into right field, but that will not get out. That will be fielded by DeLauder instead. Caught, not fielded. Just caught for out number 2. Alonso's slapping himself because he just got under that a little bit. But yeah, Emmanuel Clase, very, very good closer for the Guardians. It was just that he was betting on games, including games he himself pitched, and got indicted by the FBI for it, and has since been suspended indefinitely by baseball, since you're not really supposed to do that. That's why Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame, because he bet on games, despite being one of the best baseball players of all time. Dylan Beavers looks at ball one on a fastball outside. Gotta love baseball sometimes. No idea why you would bet on games. You make a lot of money as a player or as a coach. I don't know why you need to bet on games, but gambling addiction is a real thing. So yeah. Beavers looks at a changeup low, so he's in a 2-0 count here. Has not got a hit yet tonight, but he has reached base twice with 2 walks. Beavers will knock this one foul behind home plate on a fastball. So after Beavers, if Beavers were to reach, it would be Sam Huff, the backup catcher for the Orioles. Then Leo de Taveras, then Blaze Alexander, who's been a defensive replacement for Weston Wilson, then Kobe Mayo, then Jeremiah Jackson, then Gunnar Henderson for the full 9. Instead, Beavers will chop this over to first base, actually through the first base side, not quite able to be fielded there by Rhys Hoskins or Juan Brito, so that is a 2-out single for Dylan Beavers, and the first hit of the game for him, so that will bring up Sam Huff here with 2 outs. And again, Orioles, for some reason with 2 outs, they just love to hit. And there's another one right there for Dylan Beavers. So Sam Huff hitting 250, but again, he's only played in 1 or 2 games, so not a very small sample size for Sam Huff. Wouldn't mind another hit here. That'll be kind of fun. So first pitch from Brogdon to Huff is a check swing foul on the fastball. But yeah, Orioles still holding 6-4 lead. Ryan Helsley will be pitching the 9th, unless the Orioles just have a 2-out rally for the ages here. But the 0-1 to Sam Huff from Brogdon is swung on and a miss. Strike 2. So Connor Brogdon working well against Sam Huff here. Righty on righty matchup after a good number of lefties earlier. But still, Orioles hold the lead. Looking for just some more insurance for Ryan Helsley in the bottom of the 9th. 0-2 is knocked foul behind home plate on another fastball. So we go again. But what a turnaround for the Orioles. Jeremiah Jackson having just an insane week. And really just a really good start to the season overall. He's hitting .317 at the moment. But this week especially has been just incredible for Jeremiah Jackson. And really cementing himself as a potential everyday starter. Sam Huff will swing through a fastball for strike 3, so that will end the inning Orioles strand Dylan Beavers over at first, but again, 2 runs up on the Guardians as we go to the bottom of the 9th. It will be, I believe, DeLauder, Ramirez, and Manzardo. So heart of the order for Cleveland, working against Ryan Helsley, who has did give up, it wasn't a save opportunity, but did give up a couple runs in Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago. Though I think in terms of pure save opportunities, he's 5 for 5 now, I think. Maybe 6 for 6, one of the two. Hopefully he will increase that, because that would be very nice if that happened. All right, let's check the scoreboard one more time as we go to the bottom of the 9th. Out of town scoreboard brought to you by me, and only me, and also ESPN. And I guess Xfinity, because they provide my Wi-Fi. So yeah, but shout out to them as well for allowing me to do this. Those are my sponsors, Xfinity and ESPN. Anyway, I crack myself up sometimes, just being very stupid jokes. So Tigers and Red Sox, still nothing there in the bottom of the 8th. Wow, that is just, it's kind of like this game outside of the, how many hits? There 5 combined hits between the two teams. That is, wow. So Braves up 9-0 over the Phillies, so that is going very one-sided. Austin Riley also had a solo home run. Pirates up 3-1 over the Rays still. Giants up 9-5 over the Nats. Yankees still up 2-1 over the Royals. Brewers still up 4-3 over the Marlins. Reds up 2-0 over the Twins. Eugenio Suarez, 2 RBI double. Cardinals up 3-2 over the Astros. And Ryan Helsley, 5 for 5 in save opportunities at the moment. Mason Wynn, I think is his name. Yeah, Mason Wynn, 2 RBI double. Then Vasquez and Yordan Alvarez. Let's see, is it Luis Vasquez? No, Christian Vasquez. They both had solo home runs there. Dodgers up 2-0 over the Rockies at the moment. Max Muncy got a solo home run in the 2nd inning. There's the 2. So Chase DeLauder, who doubled last time he was up in that 7th inning, is up to bat first. So DeLauder and Ramirez for sure. Manzardo up to bat 3rd. We'll see if they pinch hit or not. No idea if they will or not. So first pitch from the Orioles closer, Ryan Helsley, to Chase DeLauder is just high with a fastball for ball 1. 99 on that 4-seamer. So second pitch to DeLauder as skied into the air into right field. Called off by Blaze Alexander in center. Shows right center field. So that is out number 1. And I was just listening to the broadcast. So it's Orioles bullpen allowed 1 earned run, 3 unearned runs. So it's the, I guess Wolfram gave up 3 unearned runs then, and then Nunez gets charged with the 1 earned run on that grand slam. So Jose Ramirez now up to bat. Cannot win the game with a home run, but could certainly make it close. So the tying run is in the on-deck circle. So 2 pitches for Helsley, gets Chase DeLauder out. First pitch is in the dirt with a slider for ball 1. No chance at a swing there from Jose Ramirez unless he was just trying to get a strike. But the tension is high in Cleveland after a roaring series of it's roaring bottom 7th, top 8th. Next pitch is a splitter actually, outside for ball 2. Don't really want to walk Ramirez because it brings the tying run to the plate. But, it's, again, really, really good hitter. So don't want to give him too much of an easy chance here. Next pitch is in there for strike 1 on a slider that bends in. No swing from Ramirez. So Ramirez, again, surefire Hall of Famer. Don't know if he's going to be first ballot, but surefire, he's going to get in. He's just that good. 2-1 count here will knock this one foul on a splitter below the zone. Angry with himself that he swung at it. Helsley has not thrown a 4-seamer yet to Ramirez. Been sliders and splitters so far. Manzardo is still in the on-deck circle. He is 1 for 4 on the night. Ramirez 0 for 1. I guess, has he walked like 3 times now? Yeah, he has 3 walks. I didn't realize that. We'll look at a ball high. There's the first fastball. 102, well high of the zone. So he's looking at his 4th walk here of the night if he takes a ball. So the full count pitch to Ramirez is down in the dirt. Ramirez takes ball 4. There is walk number 4 for Jose Ramirez. So he has reached base 4 out of 5 times. So the tying run is at the plate. Kyle Manzardo is that tying run. 1 out here. So home run ties it. Double play ends it. Anything else we play on. So Manzardo struck out twice, fouled out once, or flew out once, and singled back in the first inning. Lefty Manzardo, righty Helsley. First pitch is a fastball low for ball 1. Don't think we'll see a steal attempt from Ramirez because there's no real point in trying to get him to second because, again, you need 2 runs to tie. And, I mean, like, we're getting run in scoring position is nice, but it's risky. Next pitch is a slider that drops in there for strike 1. No swing from Manzardo. So Helsley overall looked pretty solid for the Orioles. It has definitely been shaky at times, but is, again, 2 outs away from a save here. Does have the tying run at the plate at the moment. Manzardo will swing through a splitter there for strike 2. Nice pitch. So we got Chase DeLauder to fly out on 2 pitches to start this this inning. Then walked Jose Ramirez on a full count. Up 1-2 against Kyle Manzardo at the moment. So the flame-throwing righty for the Orioles. For the next pitch, swung on a miss. Strike 3 on a splitter that time as well. Down, really, really good pitch. Just like bottom right corner of the zone. Manzardo swings and misses. That is out number 2. That is splitter with pretty, like, not a ton of immediate drop, but it just kind of goes away. And Manzardo's out in front. And it's like 10 miles per hour slower than his 4-seamer with pretty similar movement overall. A little bit more drop to it. George Valera, the pinch hitter for the Guardians here, will pop the first pitch behind home plate and foul. It's pinch hitting for Rhys Hoskins, since Valera is the lefty here. So George Valera, who is, where is he? A amateur free agent signing back in July of 2017. So he's been on the Guardians the whole time. Next pitch is well outside with a splitter. That is ball 1. So Valera only played in 3 games so far. 400 average, 2 RBIs, no home runs. So definitely a pinch hitter type of guy. Again, home run ties it and out ends it. Next pitch is chop foul over to second base, fielded by Jeremiah Jackson. Thrower to first is in time, gets the out. Game over. Jeremiah Jackson, the hero of the Orioles tonight, with that 3-run winning home run in that top of the 8th inning. Orioles come back, down 4, win it 6-4 here, evening the series up with Cleveland at 1 apiece. What a game. What a game. So Chris Bassett, starting pitcher, throws 5 scoreless in his best start of the season. Rico Garcia extends his hitless streak to 10 innings. Ryan Helsley picks up his 6th save of the season. Weston Wilson gets a 2 RBI knock there. And I think that's his first hit as well. Or he might have gotten hit earlier on Wednesday, but definitely his first RBI as an Oriole. And that is a nice win for the Orioles after looking pretty bleak there to start this series out in Cleveland. They turn it around there, and that will do it. So yeah, that'll be all for this stream. You can take a peek again at the box score. Runs scored only in the bottom of the 7th and top of the 8th. So snap their losing streak there, get back to 500 at 10-10. Guardians fall to 11-10, so they played one more game than the Orioles. So Jackson very much avenges his earlier error because, again, that bottom of the 7th inning, Jackson was the one to commit the error at the start of the inning with Stephen Kwan, allowing him to reach at first base when he botched the ground ball, but then obviously hits the home run, and then also is able to complete the final out as well. So that is it there. So my schedule coming up for Streamwise, so potentially next Tuesday, depending on how I'm feeling, how work goes and all that, I will probably stream the end of Super Metroid next Tuesday. Don't fully count on it, but probably will happen. Next Thursday, though, for sure, will be round 1 of the NFL draft, since that is going to be very, very fun. Next Friday as well will be the Orioles, as per usual. I'm just checking who they're playing because I don't remember off the top of my head. Next Friday, the Orioles are going to be playing, the Red Sox. 7:05, Orioles Red Sox, I think in Camden. So a nice AL East divisional matchup there. The Red Sox not off to a very good start this season, but a week could certainly change things for them. So we'll see you all then. So feel free to tune in to whatever. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe as well. Do all those fun things. Thank you very much for tuning in. I've been Henry the host. I don't know, I'm doing a very long-winded outro, but I'm in a good mood now that the Orioles won. Up to 2-2 in my record, so let's go with that. And I need to change my batteries in my mouse. Just got the red light there. With that,